Oh, here we go.
Hello.
That's it? That's how you open?
I'm
Hello.
gonna do that every single time.
Hello.
Welcome to another Diablo developer update live stream. My name is Adam Fletcher. I am the community director for the Diablo franchise. We've got some wonderful people here. We just have Rod.
Yeah, well,
Rod.
not part of the wonderful crew, I guess.
Yeah. He decided to insert
Got my
himself
prediction
yesterday. So.
Page up.
What is the power? If you have power, you should use it whenever possible, and I've decided to. So
We have Rod here, who is, of course, the general manager of the Diablo
universe.
Universe?
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way
All
to say it.
things Diablo.
Can't use the word franchise.
Pierre's not here now.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And of course, we have Chris Leal
Lead UX designer on Immortal.
and Ryan Quinn.
Hi, I'm senior narrative designer on Immortal.
So we are actually starting off today's show with
So much Immortal
You're
people.
starting with Immortal?
conversations.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to mention we're using new fancy mics today. We've been joking around, and I call them the Britney Spears mic.
Right.
Rod calls them the Janet Jackson mic.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Jackson.
It's because I'm older.
Rod, but is not wearing one
I
of them.
It doesn't take a genius to see the size of my head, and the ability to put that little wire around this size of noggin is impossible. So therefore, I've passed.
Disappointing. But he does have a really good impression of Britney Spears.
I am
Good,
not
we
doing it
avoided
now.
DMCA.
I am not doing it.
Okay, maybe we can get it out of him.
I'll knot my shirt later. It'll be good.
Maybe we can get it out of him during Q&A. Someone asked that question in Twitch chat. We'll make sure to bring that up during Q&A. And
Great.
there you go. You're just on the spot and you have to answer it. So
I think it's important that, like, last time you clarified.
Ted's
what we were
massive.
doing.
He
This
does
is
have a
less
map.
More
casual.
of a casual. We're just kind of giving updates. You know, we just want to be able to talk to the community.
Yes.
This is more of a developer stream, so it's a bit more official.
Yes.
But one of the things we wanted to recognize too is that, like, as a family of games, there's lots of cool stuff happening within in Diablo, and so we want to take. We don't always want to just be focused on just D4. We want, anytime there's something big or really interesting happening.
That is
within
fair.
Diablo, we want to be able to talk about it. You know, I could imagine we're going to have a season 29 conversation for Diablo 3 at some point in the future. And so one of the things we're going to do today was not just talk about, we are
season
definitely
29
gonna
talk
about
today.
Season 1 on Diablo 4. And for some reason, Adam has structured this to be as tantric as possible.
So they
get
get have
there,
had separate
trust us,
talks for
but
each
it's
of
going to
the
take a minute.
Yeah.
But what we really want to look at as well is we want to talk about a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about what's the preseason before we go into season 1. We're going to talk about what's going on with D4 today, because we actually have some news about today. Another tease, didn't mean that. And and then we want to talk a little bit about Diablo Immortal, because something pretty incredible is happening in Diablo Immortal, which is in nearly a decade, we're having our first new Diablo character class is being revealed. And we wanted to reveal it here.
It's for Immortal.
Stream. So
Okay.
one of the things about Blizzard is the SFD
whatever.
team, story and franchise, and
I
Blizzard
don't care
Video
about
and everything
Immortal,
that they
so
do around cinematics, and we thought, how could we introduce a new character class without having a kick-ass video to go with it? So without further ado, may we present to you the new Diablo character class coming to Diablo Immortal very, very
hopefully
soon.
it's cool.
All right, so we can scratch off the trailer from the predictions.
The darkness has always been with us.
Ah, good. Yes, he's a He's a DMC character. Got it.
Virgil. He's a hemomancer. He's a vampire.
The darkness wants to consume you and all you love.
He's a vampire werewolf.
Claim its power. And wield it in defiance.
Obviously evocative of the Count Dracula castle. Okay. Blood Knight is the
Yeah.
The darkness.
Is this a
Hemomancer.
trailer?
I'm a blood knight.
Are you ahead
Yeah.
of me somehow?
Darkness fears.
Put it on 2x, it'll catch up. I'm on the YouTube stream. I don't know if the YouTube stream is just
And the
ahead.
YouTube stream's like a whole minute ahead. Or something.
Oh.
Go to the Twitch stream.
I am in
What?
the Twitch.
My lower quality Twitch stream. Madge.
Yeah, I can't 2x it, so.
Yeah. I'm going.
Black Knight. That
Just seems like a melee necromancer, I'm gonna be real.
There we have it.
Yeah, it
The
doesn't seem that
new
different from
class coming to
Necromancer.
Diablo and Diablo Immortal. It's the Blood Knight.
Like,
July
Necro
13th,
has
July
some blood
13th,
stuff,
A
right?
little over a
Yeah,
week away.
a lot of blood stuff.
Sounds like there
So,
might have been
like,
some.
It's
How
just,
is it-
it's just, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
It's just
talking
an-
about there's
I
a little
get-
bit
yeah,
of
it's
pitching on
like-
it and so forth. I
Guys
will say
said
that
a
we actually
new-
do have that trailer that will be
Arthas
on a
Risky.
blog
Yeah.
on
I don't
DiabloImmortal.com
know. Like,
immediately after
I
the
guess
stream.
it's new
so people can actually check
character,
it out. It'll be
like,
on YouTube,
but
along
doesn't
with all the
feel
details
that
we're
new.
It just feels like a
about to
side
talk
spec
about.
to the Necro. Really.
We just like to
Yeah.
get ahead of ourselves,
Sure.
that's all. But obviously, first new class to the Diablo universe in nearly
Look at that
10
foreshadowing.
years.
It's on his shirt. How about
I think
that?
there's a lot of questions in regards to like the story and so forth behind the Blood Knight. Ryan, give us a little bit of background regarding the Blood Knight itself.
Yeah, sure. So I think historically, when we released DI, we released it with these sort of 6 very, very familiar, very stalwart classes that all of us love, that many of us have been playing for decades. And
Witch Doctor?
it's great to
Hello?
kind of indulge in that.
This guy
nostalgia.
seems really
It's great to get that
enthusiastic.
dopamine hit of playing
Hey,
the
does
class.
I
Also a
also
little
feel kind of
nervous.
vindicated.
After 6 classes, it
I feel
left
kind
us
of
with the
vindicated for
opportunity to do
predicting
something
30
that
minutes.
felt really new and different.
Well, we'll see.
Do a supernatural class that's kind of monstrous.
This guy does seem very
that
excited
does
about
things
it.
that
That
our
I mean,
other
that's
dark
cool.
classes like the
But
Necromancer
again, I don't care
and the
about
Demon Hunter
Immortal.
don't do. And so we're really, really stoked about the
Well, I mean, at the
opportunity
same
to
time, anything that
release
gets
the Blood
introduced
Knight
in one
on
game has the
everybody.
possibility.
Nice. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I-
like, I
obviously
don't think Blood
everyone's kind
Knight's
of
showing
seeing
up
the
in a
Blood
game
Knight
that
and
has
they're thinking,
Necro.
like,
Or
just
just
like
does Diablo Immortal have
Diablo has
Necro?
Necro.
sort of way, or like how
Wait,
does
then
this
how does it-
how does this
Yeah, I
fit in
don't
with
know.
the-
Why do you
the
have-
actual lore
Right.
within
Whatever.
Diablo?
Right. So the fine
Yeah,
details
but
are
it's like
Blood Knights and vampires
if
are
you
intertwined.
put
In
Amazon
Sanctuary,
into D4.
vampires are kind of like living plagues.
Yeah, but like,
You
They
say like
go from
why you
hunting
put
ground to hunting
Amazon
ground.
game
They
that
kill
Well,
would
people.
so
They
if you
fight
didn't
people.
know that
and sometimes
Immortal had
people who
Necro
they've
earlier, I
bitten,
mean,
they suffer
like the
this
Crusader and
monstrous
Paladin.
transformation. They start to devolve
No,
Yeah.
no,
into what
but
we call
Crusader and
thralls,
Paladin
kind of
in
like
the
lesser
lore are
vampiric
the
beings,
same
long
thing,
teeth,
actually.
hunger for blood, all that
No, they're
stuff.
not.
I don't know.
And a blood
No,
knight
they
There's-
are like
there are
Crusader
only-
is the
through
Westmar
means of an
Paladins
ancient
that
ritual,
survive
has
the
that
Sakaran corruption.
curse of thraldom arrested inside them, frozen,
And they
essentially
changed the
in
name to
place.
Crusader
They
because
get
of the
some advantages, but they get some
Sakaran
drawbacks too.
fall.
What do you mean? The curse of turning into a thrall is a drawback in a
Well,
way?
well, their thraldom is essentially on pause. So basically, what happens is a blood knight, also preternaturally strong and fast,
I don't know.
can see in the
Blood
dark,
Knights
can
seem
smell
cool, I
blood from
guess.
a mile away, doesn't age
I mean, they're
anymore,
different
as
than
we've seen in
Necros,
the
I
concept
guess,
art,
but
very,
like
very
they don't.
fancy.
Yeah.
But
Blood
on
Knight
the
Then
flip
see in the
side,
dark.
they need to take the, like, they shouldn't have given Necro so many blood skills.
Have black veins in their face.
Like,
I
Necro
don't
shouldn't
know,
be
I
so
think-
blood related.
And
Mine
maybe-
does some overlap. I don't know what Diablo Immortal
and
needs.
sort of
So
more
like,
pivotally than that, deep
I don't know.
inside their soul, there
I think
is
Blood Knight
an abomination, a monstrous
can be cool.
darkness that hungers
in
for
like D4 as
violence.
well.
And
Even though we
in
have
order to
Yeah.
tamp that down,
Necro,
in order to
so
slow their transformation
I guess it could
further, they have to perform
have
a
impact.
ritual. That
Yeah, but
keepsake
in
that you saw in
D4
our cinematic
Necro,
character's
blood
right hand, the little
skills
thing
are
on the
like
Oh,
chain.
the chain, yeah.
really
Yeah, that's
caster skills.
basically
It's
their
like,
life
the blood
line.
wall
So-
and the
so
lance,
a link
the
to their
Nova.
past.
Yeah. It's
I mean, there's
are
blood
like
on a
a
lot
really
of.
caster.
It's about.
within
Yes.
of the last
Yeah, it's
place
like
that
a
they were kind of
spellcaster
truly
necro.
human.
Right.
And
I
so
mean, there's
every
also
morning,
blood
noon, and
on
night,
the
they're
scythe.
doing
There's blood runes for
ablutions
every
with this
skill, pretty
thing
much.
to hopefully
No, they're not.
continue to keep the darkness at bay. But it's a process.
Right.
The ritual, it's hearsay. It's been passed down for hundreds of years, and for basically every blood knight, it may.
I do think
fail
it's strange
at
to
some point. All blood knights are doomed to one day
introduce things in
succumb to their
Immortal.
curse.
And they don't know if that's 1 day, 1 year, 1,000 years.
Could
They
be
don't know.
centuries,
Right,
right?
yeah.
They're very, very long lived. What
It already
what they
seems
do
like it's
know
kind of
and what they
out of,
pledge on
like,
is that they're
shoving
gonna use
in
all of
lore
the time
type
they
stuff.
have left
And
to
I guess
push
this is
back
just more
the
just kind of
darkness.
shoving in lore.
And
Like, why don't we
completely
have
for
Blood
them,
Knights
since that
in the
is
other
such an
Diablo
uncertain question,
games?
it's really about their inner sense of balance. Can I do enough good
Right.
to make up for the evil that will rise when I'm gone.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out because we had the art up there earlier, and that art is gorgeous looking. At the same time, they're very pretty. I've been joking about it. I'm like, oh, look, they're so pretty.
Well, if you were going to turn into a monster, you'd want to stop
Well,
over
it's
here,
funny
right?
because they're very gorgeous here, and then they turn into the abomination, which is really funny to see. So it's like a complete opposite
Well,
of what it is.
I mean, you mentioned the abomination. I think we saw the Blood Knight turn into this.
That's gonna be
creature,
weird for Diablo Immortal.
during
Blood Zone
that.
Mega
So what
censored in
what
China.
actually is going on here?
I really
Like,
want
this is
that
I
picture
guess Chris will
as
talk
an emote.
eventually about like how an abomination comes in, but this is basically
That's
them
that's
tapping
me
into
yelling.
what's inside them to
Are their
change
games
form.
still hosted
Yeah,
in
they're
China?
letting the curse off the leash.
Immortal
here,
is,
so
Immortal
I think.
is, yeah.
It's going to grant them extreme
I think
power
it's the
in the
only
short
one left.
term.
This is the Bruce Banner Hulk thing.
Yeah, but maybe there's a little anime teardrop there of like, do I come back from this?
Right. Okay. Got it.
Awesome. Well, I know with the Blood Knight, obviously, like, it's new class. How does it fit, Chris, into the like a gameplay style? Like, what if you're playing a Blood Knight? What can you expect the style to be as a person that's actually jumping into Diablo?
Actually, I feel like
the
I
Blood Knight is
persnickety
actually
gelling
a
in this.
melee hybrid
this one.
class, meaning there's tons of up-close combat with polearms. However, they have a host of shadow and blood abilities they can use to manipulate the battlefield in their favor.
Shadow and Blood?
I think the drawback of Blood Knights might be that players that start playing it might feel that their mobility is limited. However, they have tons of legendary essences to help them improve the ability to close the gap on enemies, as well as life-stealing abilities to help them sustain themselves in lengthy combat sequences.
Got it. So like in combat more often, close combat, so they're essentially taking more damage, but then they have abilities themselves to actually essentially drain, as we can see, kind of like life from others, essentially replenish their life while they're in combat.
And Immortal does look
Yeah.
remarkably similar to
The
D4.
kebab attack, as I like to call it.
The skewer.
The skewer attack is my favorite thing right now. I was like, so what's happening there? We saw it in the trailer. We see it here as well, is where they're basically able to stab an enemy, smash it around like as if it was end of a hammer. So that's
It looked way cool. It looks way cooler in concept. Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty awesome.
But it actually has a stun as well, right? It's not just the attack on the one thing that you skewered. It actually it has an area effect.
Yeah, so the
I don't
Blood
know, I
Knight
feel like it's
stabs their polearm forward into the
looks
closest
more
enemy,
clunky
then
than
swings
any
overhead the
D4
enemy
class
and
right
slams it
now.
onto the ground, stunning everyone.
Yeah,
with
but
a
it's
small
Immortal,
AoE.
so.
And there are also legendary essences that
Oh, no, I
let
don't
you
even
lunge
remember that
forward
na-
or
that
actually
game.
leap to perform the slam.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's awesome.
And then I know, like, of course, with every class in Immortal, they all have different ultimates depending on their primary attack skills and so forth. Like, what kind of two different ultimates can we expect with the Blood Knight?
Yeah, I could talk a bit
They
about
haven't
the
announced
primary
a,
attacks. The first is Ravage.
release date for this,
they're
right?
Basically,
Where do they become a
run
thrall?
around in a 3-hit combo, and right here is the ultimate where they become a 5-hit combo with a stun at the
They're Thrall. They're not thralling out.
Wielding pole arms. That's
Oh, you mean the Abomination?
And
Yeah.
the other
They called it
primary
a
attack
thrall.
they have is called Shadow's
No,
Edge.
they said they want to
It's,
avoid
quite
becoming a
unique
thrall.
one. It's the first
thought.
Immortal where the in melee range, the
He still hasn't
Blood Knight will
transformed
do
yet
a
at all.
Slash, and
Yeah.
for enemies that are further away, they'll actually.
There has
throw
not been a
dagger
lot of that
forward,
me
and
yelling
there are
pose.
legendary essences that add damage over time or make the dagger ricochet.
Nice. So you can essentially
Kinda
it's
stabby though.
good room clear type of abilities.
he looks
is what
kinda
I'm
cool, I
hearing.
guess, but-
So if you got a ton of mobs in front of you, especially if the daggers are ricocheting and you mentioned piercing and so forth with the ultimate and everything.
I have no
you can essentially
context,
Clear out whole
so-
rooms with that. So
It's a PvP
awesome
game,
to
so.
hear. I know, as
I
you
don't know.
mentioned beforehand, tons of
Whatever.
legendary essences and everything that are associated to kind of modify
Oh,
skills.
look, he became a
I
thing.
know, and we're even seeing here. This is like
Paul,
the
look, he did it.
abomination we
That
were
me
talking
yelling
about
mode.
beforehand.
why would I want to become the
The
abomination?
FPS
Like,
though, holy shit.
Yeah, so I'll talk about the abomination a bit. The way it works is it is a transformative
He
skill.
goes demon
that
form.
requires,
I prefer
defeating enemies. to
Lost
fill the
Ark
board,
demon
much
form.
like
Yeah.
the ultimate.
Right.
However, it happens much more often, and it then transforms your entire skill bar.
Yeah, it's just
into,
just
a new primary attack,
transform
followed
class
by
from
two specific skills: a blood rush, where the
From
blood
Lost
knight
Ark.
actually dashes forward.
that's
in
cool
a
though.
ball.
It's
of
like
blood,
the
and then
ultimate
there's
for
a 3-hit combo attack
Wilson.
where if
Yeah.
after the last hit they fly into
when
the
you
air
transfer
and
into
slam the
one
ground,
of the 4 demons.
hit
Oh,
a lot
but
of stuns.
not really
Oh, those
demons.
are way cooler though.
Nice. That's awesome to see.
Yeah.
I think
Because you go like a super big.
with this update that's coming out on the 13th and the Blood Knight itself, and there are like even other components and that are kind of going to be coming with this actual update. Do you guys have any like additional information on?
Well,
like,
there's ways to play it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so the things that's really interesting. Like, this is, I think, having a new character class introduced on basically the anniversary of Diablo Immortal is really exciting. Like, it's a great way to celebrate 1 year that Immortal
Class
has been.
coming
It's
out
hard
real
to believe
quick.
it's already been a year. It's crazy. But so having a new character, but I've been like a whirlwind barbarian for a year now, and loving that. And so now I'm going to obviously. Well, one of the great things about Immortal is that you can class change. So I can take my Paragon 500 Barbarian. I know that's not high. Thank you very much. I
It's
can
higher
take
than
my
I got.
Paragon 500 Barbarian and turn it into a Blood Knight. Yes. Because there's basically
Yes.
3 ways. We have the player who's been playing for a year, like myself. We have the new player, and we have the test driver. Right, is the way to think about that. So maybe you can go through that.
Yeah, totally.
is a
So
pretty deep
if
dive
you're
into
brand
this.
new to Immortal and have never played before, you can play the Blood Knight right out of the gate, create a new character completely free, and start with the main story complete with custom Blood Knight VO lines for all of the main quests. And for players like Rod who have been playing for a while and want to convert to this class, I'm happy to say that we've made some major improvements to class change. Strength and intelligence will now convert properly.
I know it's a huge request that a lot of people are asking for. Yes.
Yes, it's going to be great. And also, players will be able to, during the event, change to the Blood Knight on a one-day cooldown and also revert back infinitely. So if you decide you don't like playing the Blood Knight, you can revert the day of. Or if you want to try it again tomorrow,
This
you can
all
go
seems
ahead and
cool
change
for-
back to the Blood Knight.
Nice. Awesome.
That
And
looks good.
lastly, I want to talk about the
I don't know
Crimson
what
Plane
complaints to
event.
have because
For Immortal players
don't know
that are
what
familiar with Fractured Plane,
Immortal players are.
there will be a special Crimson Plane event where there'll be a
So I think a lot maybe don't know what Fractured Plane. So maybe just what's the 5-second version of what is Fractured Plane?
So Fractured Plane is basically a roguelite inside of Immortal.
That sounds
where you're
really
able
cool.
to try out all of the skills and abilities and build towards a 15 levels of defeating enemies. Just to
Man, they must
try
have a
out
delay on
different
chat
skills.
for
You
mods to
basically
read them.
start with a
'Cause there are a
fresh
lot of messages
class,
getting
and
deleted
so you're taking
real
your
fast.
character. Like I have a very specific build.
Shift G,
very
Shift G.
specific gear, but if I wanted to go play Fractured Planes, it says, "Oh, you're barbarian."
Everybody's just resident
Here's some random
sleeper.
skills.
There's a lot
See
of
how far you can
Resident
get with
Sleeper.
this, and you build up your gear and stuff as you're playing through this roguelike
I'm
experience.
the
Yeah.
same right
Exactly,
now.
exactly.
And so now for the Blood Knight introduction, you've created Crimson Planes, which is a version of the same experience to go
Does
and
anybody
test
know what
drive
time
all
the
the
stream
different Blood Knight
starts?
skills.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you'll be able to try out
Like I'm
different
still
skills
asleep,
and
even though I didn't
legendary
go to sleep.
essences without actually committing to changing to the class. So just try it out, see if you like it. And if
I don't have
you do,
any.
go
I don't care about Immortal. Go next.
Nice. That's awesome to hear. So we have,
Shift G.
and we have other things like I mentioned that are coming in this actual update.
Wow,
I know
that name's so fitting, man. It
for
is just
any
this game
new
that won't
player
die.
that's coming in, of course, they can create a Blood Knight, how we mentioned beforehand, customize it, and it's completely free. And
Look
then,
at
of
the
course,
3
any existing
sliders.
character
Holy
can do
shit,
class changes if
customization.
they want, or they can create new
Holy
characters if they like
shit.
to do it that way as well.
Okay,
But I know we have like a new legendary
customize.
gem that's going to be coming in this actual
New
update,
legendary
as
gem.
well. And then we even have just other like items associated with this specific.
How do you
patch,
keep getting ahead of
that'll
me?
be hitting
Full
as
set of
well.
legendaries. for
Yeah,
Blood
Exactly.
Knight, too.
Yeah,
really
and
ahead.
we're actually
I'm
gonna be
on
listing out every
Twitch.
single
I can't be
legendary
ahead.
log that is available.
Literally are.
for the Blood
Where
Knight
you
in,
see the
on our
legendary gem?
blog immediately after the
They're
stream.
talking
So,
about it.
Yeah,
you
they
guys
talked
can
about
check
it.
out
Yeah,
the
they
cinematic
just
trailer
talked about
that
it
we
right
showed
now.
off for the Blood Knight
me.
earlier
Okay,
on that
well,
blog, and of course
catch
we have all
up.
the details.
I
about
can't.
what's
Pause
coming
play.
in this update. That is
That doesn't
hitting on
work.
the 13th of July.
Don't
so
get
soon.
wrecked.
It's
I'm just
crazy.
built diff.
So we do.
I'll try to
we're
react to
super
3
stoked.
sentences
The cinematic
ago.
is amazing, by the way. I just want to like.
Why are you,
highlight.
for people who didn't get to see it in full frame rate, you're basically rubbing their noses right now.
Essentially, I'm like
Go watch
you
it
They-
again, please.
I don't
see-
feel like they had
seeing
enough
and
graphics prepared for this.
blood splattered all over some stained glass.
I refresh.
Diablo. So,
I feel like they
perfect sense. It's great.
needed to have-
But we are super stoked. So yeah, July 13th is when it's going to be coming
Like
out.
the
and then,
thing
of
for
course,
the graphic
again,
for
check
the gym. I don't know.
diabloimmortal.com
Maybe
Sounds
they'll
like
have
a-
more.
Sounds like a
stream.
pretty,
We'll have a blog up there
big
for,
update for,
people to check out.
Yeah,
Yes, they have a blog up,
guys on
but-
the year. It's been a
Just
very
gonna
amazing
defer everything to the
Immortal.
blog.
And I
Fuck
think people
preparing for
who
the
maybe
stream.
tried it at launch
I guess so.
and haven't gone back to take a look at it.
That's
like
fine, I
the-
guess.
basically every quarter we do major updates and really change the game. So the ability to
Wait,
craft
Diablo
set
Immortal is a
items, the
mobile game that
ability
doesn't get updates
to
every
take your
month?
duplicate
That's
legendaries and
cringe.
turn that into a currency so that you can make your current legend, stronger.
That's
and
actually like,
the way that you
unacceptable.
do
What the
dungeons
fuck?
now
I
It's
don't
a,
know.
it's a
I
mobile
can
game that
play
doesn't
the
get
game,
updates
so-
every
the
month?
clan play, like there's just so much else going on. So it's a free-to-play game. If you want to go check it out, just to see all the changes, like I said, there's been in a year. It's to me, it's a completely different game in the sense of the different ways that you can approach the content, which is exciting. But hearing the fact that you fully recorded all VO for the Blood Knight for the campaign, I think it'll be exciting to go back. And
I guess
start
1
over.
year for a new
it's
class is
about
kind of fucking
2,000
ridiculous
lines
too.
in total. We've got a pair
Yeah.
of really, really awesome voice actors. Abby Trott and Ben Prendergast absolutely killed it as the Blood Knight. It's just pure haughtiness and bloodlust and action all the way through. They've got some interesting takes on. I was going to say the name of the villain.
Are these guys gonna get up and just have the four guys sit down, or
yeah, I don't think there's
I don't know. Maybe they also work on D4 and they'll just pivot.
story.
Awesome. Well, thank you
The
guys very much, and
two
congratulations.
Diablo
Yeah, so
Immortal
we're
guys
here.
seemed
We're
very
stoked.
oh yeah,
And we're going to be
enthusiastic
now
about
switching over
their
to
Diablo
D4 content.
Immortal.
We're actually going to take like a really short break because
Okay,
we got
there
to
we
swap people in. This room is only so big, and
A short
we actually
break?
need mics off of people and everything. But we're going to
That's
be
fine, I guess.
swapping in into our Diablo 4 segment. So we'll see you here in a minute or so.
All right, how much Diablo Immortal was that?
what am I watching this
It's like-
trailer again?
8 minutes, 10 minutes of Diablo Immortal?
What I'm looking the cinematic.
I don't know. That was 21 minutes, by the way, of Diablo Immortal.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 21.
No, some of it was the starting soon screen.
I mean, it basically started right on the hour. It might have been a minute or two off.
Nah, I'm checking the VOD.
Okay, we already know this.
I don't know. Just transition cinematic? I don't know.
Yeah, but this is a really long cinematic.
I
Maybe
imagine they're
you're
only
right.
gonna play the
Maybe,
first half.
maybe
of it.
maybe I can finally see the second half.
I would
Please.
have preferred some elevator music and concept art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just replay the Blood Knight trailer again with like play Diablo Immortal.
I
Yeah.
seriously still don't understand what the fuck the ringing light bubble thing does.
It's
He's
supposed
just
to
an
be
angel?
like.
That's his
So,
power. Boom.
what I think the sonar is supposed to invoke is that it's supposed to be reminiscent of sonar because they're trying to evoke like a deep sea tentacly beast in Anarius. Like this otherworldly.
That is a huge fucking stretch. I don't get that at all.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's I think what they were trying to do. So,
All right.
Okay.
I think they're just trying to make him sound cool because he's kind of ominous, like a
the ping
sonar
is
wave.
definitely like a sonar thing.
yeah, but sonar
'Cause
waves are
it's
kind of
supposed to be him
ominous.
looking-
I don't know. Right?
They're kind of ominous.
To me,
I've
they
never
are.
gotten that from Sonar either.
That sound that thing makes is like chills, dude. I don't know. Sonars make
Never
just,
like looked at submarine technology and been like, God, that is so
Well,
mysterious and weird.
But submersible technology, that's chills. Like especially the way like
his wings are way too
tendrils
big, bro.
move, like the wings here. I think they're trying to make him seem like a I don't know.
A
deep
scuba
sea
diver.
creature.
Okay.
But no,
We should
we're
just get
actually
the
gonna,
word.
no.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think we should just get the word vulnerable as an emote and spam that.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh,
Anarius would have had a much better time if he had better
And we're back.
vulnerable.
What happened to the awkward hello? You're
I've
supposed to
actually
go,
won.
hello.
That's going to be my intro
I'm
for
technically
everything.
not back.
Wait.
Well, you are technically back. I mean, you
I
were
mean,
in other streams and other times.
Correct.
I'm not back. I'm new.
Oh yes,
Okay.
Tim is new. Tim also has the best voice in the world.
what?
Wow.
So
It's
Tim,
really
Lead game
Tim is just
producer.
gonna talk for the rest of
They
the
just got a new one?
Okay,
And-
I didn't prepare for that at all.
Okay.
Surprise.
Maybe you
thought
should
he was-
actually introduce people.
Yes,
Or...
I will introduce people.
No, I thought PIPR
we are now
was
joined
the-
by our wonderful Diablo
Maybe he
4
got
developers. We have
upgraded.
Tim Ismay, May introduce
Joseph
you.
Chiapiora, the guy on the left. I thought he
today
was the
I'm
game
one of
producer,
the lead producers on Diablo 4,
but
specifically focused
he
He's
might have got
associate game
promoted
director.
I say that because
since.
if you ask me questions
Sounds like a
outside of
downgrade.
context, I have no idea what's going on.
And you said plural.
He said
Wait,
plural.
there's more than one season.
There's
in-
Trying to
more.
build more than
I was
one
worried about
season.
equal.
Yeah.
There
Focus
is
on
more than
different
one
things.
season. That's going to be, we're revealing that.
Or
Or
that's
Game director
job
actually focuses
security.
on the game. Producer just makes sure that
Just ask
people
people.
Wait, we're supposed to be thinking about job security?
And
One directs
we
and one
have
produces.
a familiar face.
Joey P.
Yes, I'm Joe Pipora. I'm the associate game director for the live service, and I'm excited to talk about season 1 today.
Chiapiora.
At last.
But first,
I'm never gonna remember how to
first-
pronounce that name.
That's right.
because Adam has built
So bad with
everything
names.
possible
We
to talk
can't
about
start-
except the season.
right.
We can never start talking about seasons until we talk about something else first. But there are cool things to actually talk about.
Correct. Obviously, it's been a little over a month since Diablo 4's launched.
It's only been a month.
Is it? Well, if you
No,
include
but you're right. It is.
Yeah.
Like I always the amount of feedback we get about like, hey, this thing, and you're like, it's been like 5 weeks. Like,
Exactly.
give us a second.
Exactly.
So
It has been a month, a little bit
No,
more than a
no
month.
seconds.
Since
Madge
Diablo
clap.
4 has
wait,
actually
how
right
did you
now.
guys get a season done in 4 weeks? That's incredible.
We started it well before the game launched.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
smart.
We actually released it.
We're extremely good at our job.
Wait, so you
I don't want to get in
started
the weeds,
before the
everybody.
game
I
launched?
don't want to get in the weeds, everybody, but like we did start before the game launched to make sure that we could actually release.
I thought you were just
something.
gonna say zombies are really easy to make, and so therefore it was.
Yeah,
Oh my
obviously,
God.
that's what it is. Okay.
Also, people are saying that your mic is low, Mr. Joey P.
My
Oh, no.
mic
Yeah,
is low.
so I don't
Okay,
know if
I'll bring it in a little
we'll
bit.
fix that. I promise. Live broadcast, everyone.
I
Live
can
broadcast.
project everybody.
Yeah,
That's
he
what's
can-
going to take.
He can start screaming.
Just scream at everybody.
And you haven't seen
So I
Joey P
interrupted. So
scream.
you,
Sorry.
you're talking
Sorry,
about the 5 week. I was just shocked by the 5 week thing, but anyway.
Correct.
So yes, it's been 5
so
weeks.
obviously it's been 5 weeks since we launched. We've had numerous updates to the game, hot
Numerous.
fixes, patches. We actually had a
Numerous.
campfire chat in between.
Yeah, there was numerous.
Where we
There's
talked about
small patches
even
for
Yeah,
the
but-
big
hotfix.
update. that
Yeah,
was
they're
coming
just
before
that's just
13 page.
that's
Yes,
just
13 page. Which people are like,
meaningless,
well, that must have been like 14 point font, double spaced. And I'm like, maybe it was. But it still was very big. It was like 11 pages and went on the actual site. But we've addressed a lot of feedback and everything related to the game.
Wait, are they
We
saying
still
the
have
last
more
patch
feedback
was
that we're
the-
actually
the-
going
That's,
to
yes,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
the
it,
13
yeah.
page. Yeah.
later this afternoon, there is going to be another patch, climb patch, surprise, spoilers, or announcement. We will have patch 104. That's going to be hitting all
not
platforms
spoilers,
later this
it's-
afternoon. There will be patch notes posted this afternoon. Not as, very much not as chonky as 103.
Oh, so they're
but
gonna
it
have
does
nothing in
address
them.
Additional
Okay.
feedback and issues that people
Oh.
have been
Not
reporting
gonna
over
be
to
like a
us,
1% buff.
you got one?
0.1.
Yeah. You're gonna have like
But
one
yeah,
line.
Funny enough, did I actually have this printed out?
I don't think you can say that 1.04 is coming this afternoon and not give an example of something we're fixing in 104.
I know that
Quick,
they are
pause and
actually,
read the page.
Quick,
doing a
pause,
gameplay fix in
enhance.
regards to, or a gameplay adjustment to Helltide Chess, so that Helltide Chess will now actually drop unique items.
Yeah, have the
They
chance
didn't
to
do
drop
that
there.
before?
Sorry. Have a chance, not like a guarantee.
Wait, what?
What?
That wasn't already a thing? That's not a patch. That's
But,
So that's
I mean, it is a
I
patch.
mean, it is a patch, but like that's not. It's not like
I
something to
didn't-
talk
I was
about.
already could drop uniques with Helltide Chess, so I was
Yeah.
mistaken there.
I agree.
Yeah,
Rob.
yeah. It's so there are some content types that the rewards are not dropping like unique items from it. So like like Whisper bounty
Good.
caches, for example, don't have a chance to drop unique items
Why?
when you turn in for those.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah, but I think that there's opportunities for us to
Why?
continue to like try to expose this
The
more
first
as we
time
talk
they
about these
talk
things
about
moving
that, they
forward.
say
But
a
yeah,
way
this
to
is an opportunity now. We
bring
want to make sure that
for
when
your
players are
chocolate.
trying to target farm for certain kinds of uniques for their builds, they need to grab in order to bring those things online. That those Whisper caches really can be used as a way to or not Whisper caches.
yeah,
the,
it's pretty
torture
obvious that
gifts
they could be.
You can get from the Helltides events. Those are really good opportunities to go and try to go
Yeah.
for those.
And that's,
mean, that's-
this afternoon. So once 104.
That's-
goes
Why
out, once you're-
was that not?
Yeah, that's just no. That's just bad
That's right.
game design.
That's right. That's
Whatever.
this afternoon.
Yep, and I will say like we've been getting
I mean,
like
it's good that
at
they're
least they
fixing it.
fixed it.
At least they're fixing it.
We
Yeah.
have been getting a lot of feedback related to bugs, issues, or even just like general gameplay feedback.
Well, so
It's
I
something
mean,
that the team has been reading through and
We
getting
only got
through,
confirmed that
and
the
those are
Helltides
things
are getting
you know,
that buff, so
obviously
maybe the
we'll
Whisper
use-
still
we're-
won't drop
we're
unique,
addressing
which is
as we get
cringe.
through all these
Oh,
different
no.
updates in the future.
Whispers
and
will as
everything.
well, surely.
We're building a big backlog. Like this is the thing I was making the joke about. They started before, like seasons started before we launched, just to try to set expectations. Like we're moving as fast as we can, but we have to move also safely, because if we move too fast, we can kind of vibrate the game out of stability.
The reason why you can't
So
move
we're
faster is
trying
because
to
you have
be
console. You
as
have to
reactive
move
as
at
we
console
can,
rules.
but in a safe way, and knowing we have a large backlog of
So
season
game
1
dev
was
is
already
hard.
well in flight, and season 2 is also very much well in flight. And so we're trying to make those adjustments. So we hear the feedback. So please don't take the lack of instantaneous response as in we don't hear you. We hear you. We hear about, I want to lock my inventory. We hear you about all the different types of things that you're giving us feedback on, and we appreciate that feedback, and we're doing our best to address it as quickly and as safely as possible. So, so just trying to manage expectations that sometimes it might feel, but again, it's only been 5 weeks. This is a game that we are going to, we're going to support for years to come. This is a foundation of, we said the launch was the beginning, not the end. And so we're going to be continuing to support the game through many seasons and through expansions and what have you. And so
We'll
please just allow us some time to catch up and work through our backlog to get to those items that we know that you care about.
And I do want to note that we're, as we were in preseason, we were obviously shooting out a lot of updates really quickly, and this is something we talked about a little bit on the campfire chat, but we are going to get into a more systematic way of being able to update the game, so it's not just going to be like ad hoc, hey guys, what a new client patch type of thing, unless there's an emergency. But yeah, people start to find a more some familiarity with how we actually update the game around seasons and client patches that may occur, whether they are in between or only on seasons and so forth. So we'll have that actually communicated out, and people then know what to expect going forward when we do have different updates or different patches that actually do hit the game.
I think it's really important that we have now talked about things we did in the preseason. We've made a number of changes on the balance side. We've responded to a lot of player feedback. We've got 1.04 coming out later on this afternoon.
Lilith,
But Adam, what do the people want to hear about?
Yeah, I want a body pillow cover.
So we're actually now going to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. But we do want to talk about season 1. Season 1 is coming, and we actually have a really cool trailer to show off before
A trailer.
we jump into
Oh,
it. So
Okay.
hit it, Rich.
the second
and
part
Matt.
of the thrill.
An hour into presentation.
I am writing to you because although a great evil is receding from
A possessed letter.
a new festering curse now spreads its corruption across the land.
Alright,
More
this
dangerous,
is what I expected.
more
New main
malignant
story.
than I could have imagined. I have found a way to
Just
stop
wolves.
this plague. To rip the dark power of these monsters from their very core and turn it to our advantage in destroying them.
Whoa. Okay. A little violent there.
Cannot do this alone.
Diablo.
My allies have fallen. My strength is dwindling.
F Bow Rogue.
Shouldn't have played on
You
hardcore.
should have paid a Bow Rogue.
I need help.
Shouldn't have played a
They're
sword.
nerfing.
I need you.
How did the barb die first?
Malignant.
What?
That's all we get?
Malignant.
Where the fuck's my
Yes.
gameplay trailer?
Malignant, These nuts.
Yeah, well.
We're getting that next. Calm down.
7/20,
There we have it.
2023.
The
Seven
first
twenty.
season of Diablo 4
Okay.
Yeah, that's the day I
coming out
expected.
on July 20th. The season of the Malignant. Lots to talk about there. Lots to talk
Right.
about
Not
there.
21.
So we're actually going to.
Well, it's because this will be the 21st. It'll be the 21st on like it'll be the Friday in EU. It'll just launch at like the time again.
You know, we even
I'm
teased
sure.
it on social media yesterday where
At least this weekend.
something was corrupting Sanctuary. I guess Tim, Joe, like
Yeah, no, okay,
explain
so
to us what's going on.
Don't think we'll actually get a new
season
zone,
one,
it sounds
the
like.
season of the Malignant. So, our
Darn, my
very
prediction.
first season in the game is going to basically take place after the events of Diablo 4. So after the redacted and the redacted have happened and the player has finished redacting the redacted, once all that's out of the way,
What?
that's when things are really going to kick off.
He just say
Don't wanna
redacted like
spoil
8
it.
times.
Yeah,
There's
'cause
a
they don't wanna
new threat
spoil,
that's
'cause
basically
people are still
emerged
playing
in
through
Sanctuary.
the
There's
story.
there's this malignance, there's this corruption that's begun to spread throughout like the hearts.
This to me
of
feels
the
like main
creatures
story but
throughout the
side
world.
story.
And that's everything from
Yeah.
like,
Main but
beasts
side
to,
story.
To humans.
Yeah,
To
this is
demons
about what I
themselves,
expected.
everything in
That's
between.
fine.
can be corrupted
Maybe
by
a
this
little bit
malignance,
larger
that's gonna
scale
take
because
root
it's not as
faster inside
self-contained as
inside
I
people. And it's basically kind of like
predicted.
it's changing them, right? It's turning them into these bloodthirsty fiends. Effectively, they're going out and trying to destroy everything. And it's threatening Sanctuary at a very, very, very high level. The player's going to come across a new character that they're going to introduce to over the course of the season named Cormand, who we actually
Sounds like-
saw in the trailer there. Cormand
So they're going the
is,
route
there he is.
of
Cormand
seasonal
is
NPCs that guide you through,
member of the
like
Cathedral of
Alva
Light.
or
He used to be a priest at the Cathedral of Light. And
The
he's taken it upon himself to start trying to
Caldor
dive
people.
deeper into this new malignant threat that's risen over the course of these days following the events of Diablo 4's main campaign. But he's finding himself maybe a little out of his depth. You say, Tim? Like, what do you think about Cormand?
Yeah, he's trying to
Maybe
fix the
not
problem
quite
on his
high enough
own,
paradigm
and
level.
then I think when he's not 100% successful, he comes to the player and says, "Hey, you were really helpful in the past. Could I get a hand from you?" So that's kind of where things start.
Yeah, he's very. I think that.
And our
like,
player
his
character
person-
says,
everything
"We're
in the room's
strong,"
on fire.
'cause that's
he's
about
gonna
the
be like, I
depth
can
of our
fix it.
player
You know,
character.
we could find a way to solve this, right? But he's a great new character that the player get introduced to over the course of the season. But that's really just where things kick off. You know, and players will start the season of
That's fine.
Malignant actually in Kyovashad, and they're going to gain access to like the beginning of the story of the season pretty much right away. You know, so you're able to start off right at level 1, like jumping out of the gate and be able to start like following the thread of this new season storyline.
And we're going to talk
Okay,
about
that's
the
good. I like
transition
that.
from the current Eternal Realm into the
Like
season
PoE.
afterwards. We're going to get through
Okay,
the
transition time.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
Well, then when I know people are really curious about what happens to my current character, how do I think about that transition? But we'll get to that after we get through the season details. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
I'm not
So that's
curious.
the kind of
gonna
the
just
high
be
level,
how
like what is
it works
what's
in every
happening
seasonal
That's the
game.
theme,
Sanctuary.
right?
That's the, that's
so
the
we
theme,
have a
yeah.
seasonal theme with a seasonal story, but like, what about the mechanic? On top of the theme, there's usually the seasonal mechanics. So what's the mechanics that we're looking at?
We're trying to add more stuff to seasons that appeal to everything that a player does in Diablo 4. So we are adding story, the elements of what you're going to find out about what is actually happening to Sanctuary, but then we want things that are new challenges for the player, things that you can fight that maybe you
Good, I like to hear that. Good talk.
as well as new powers, things
Keep
that
going.
you can build your character in a different way, a different direction than maybe you did in any previous season, or in this case in the preseason when you had just the Eternal Realm. So hitting all of those notes, we're starting with a mechanic around the threat. So what is the threat? The Malignant. We've been talking about it a lot. Where does the Malignant actually show up? That actually shows up throughout the entire game. When you're playing in the world of Sanctuary, anytime you encounter any elite monster, there's a chance that it will spawn as a malignant version of
this
that
is
monster.
just
So that
Nemesis
malignant
League.
version is going to have these growths on it.
Where's
and
my
some
headhunter?
additional power. After you kill it, a heart will actually appear, the exposed malignant heart that was causing this. If you then interact with that heart by using a cage of binding, it now starts a ritual
Cage of binding.
where it's pulling all the malignant
Need an item?
and a new, even more powerful version
No, I
of
think
that
it's
elite
just
is spawned.
flavor.
Yep.
Why would you want this? How does this help you? Well, if you can manage to beat that even more powerful version where you see these other minions
Oh,
are now
look, all
helping
three shouts.
these other malignant creatures,
It's a barb.
now it drops the caged heart. You've actually put
Okay.
all that malignant power into this cage that is an item that you can use that is kind of like a
Oh
gem.
God.
It's
I
like a gem in the
really
sense that
hope
you can
that
socket
this
it
is
into gear.
Socket
It
into
is
gear.
very
Not
much
bad
not
for
like a gem
inventory
in the sense
management.
That it has an enormous amount of power. Think of a legendary item, the kind of power that's in there. It's like that, maybe even a little bit more than that. So you can take these malignant hearts, you can socket them into your jewelry, and that gives you
Into jewelry.
these kind of stupid
So it's-
new broken builds
Okay.
that are hopefully balanced, hopefully but
Some
they are
legendary gems.
extremely powerful. So these are new options
Yeah.
on how you can
They're
play the
legendary.
game.
Yeah,
They're
so
legendary
This
gems.
is really, really cool, right? So
Yeah,
one
but
of the things we really want to do
hopefully-
with each season, to Tim's
not
point,
enough
is we wanna make
details
sure
yet.
that we're
Hopefully
providing
they're interesting.
new ways for players to engage with Diablo 4, new problems for them to solve, new ways for them to customize their
I think
characters,
the
to do new
whole
cool
kill the
stuff,
elite,
right?
then
And that's
stop,
really
then
the
click,
concept of
then
how
wait
some
is
of the
cringe.
Malignant Hearts really allow us to do.
But
So
whatever.
one of these things, so yes,
think
you
it's-
can take a Malignant Heart that you've managed
We'll have
to
to
collect
see how
from one of the
fast
students
it
that you managed to
goes,
kill,
but yeah,
one
it
of these
will
super
need to be
malignant
fast.
creatures that you've killed this way, and you can socket them into your gear. We have over 30. We have 32 new.
32.
He's missing a shout on his
32
barb.
malignant powers.
Wait, 32?
Yeah,
What is that?
technically, it's 32. So we have 32 new malignant powers are going out this way. These are new legendary power-like abilities. You can see this one here: critical strikes,
not
electrically
remove.
charge
Cannot remove from
creatures
the
for a certain amount of damage. So these are like there's a lot of really powerful things like this that you'll be able to kind of like interact with over the course of time. But each of the
So we're losing
parts you're
jewelry socket
collecting are
power, though.
actually, like a category.
Losing
Yeah,
defense.
Associated
but
with a
like
color. So if like brutal hearts, for example, or like
Yeah.
have a blue color.
Probably
to
is
them.
gonna be
And
some
they'll only
defense.
go in festive
Yeah, if
sockets.
there's 32
You'll find
powers,
rings and
I think
jewelry during the
Sator's
season
right. There's
of
probably going to
Malignant.
be like a
Other
defense.
than
Yeah,
that,
but you're not
cover.
gonna use it.
So when you're hunting for like,
Yeah,
when you're
but
like
the problem
finding the
is
amulets and rings or
already sound
gambling
in
at
the
the,
chat.
at the
Why not just
the
add
open
two
area,
slots?
whatever it is you want to do.
32
You're kind of
inventory
looking
slot.
for specific
Yeah.
socket
Yeah,
colors.
the
Or if you're
inventory
getting a
slots
unique
seems.
ring from the new Helltide chest reward.
Why
or if you're
not-
playing from the one
Why
over
not
there.
If you
two
happen to
sockets?
luck out
Why
and
can't I get
Mother's
two
Embrace,
sockets on
you
my
can get
ring?
another Mother's Embrace, then, like, yes, you can absolutely.
One will never do. But what's interesting, like with the, so there's 3 different types of
Why don't
colors.
you just do the 32 powers? Say.
There's 3 different types of colored sockets, but there's 4 different types of Malignant Hearts.
Go on.
Well, okay, I guess I will. So the last Malignant Heart type is called basically a Wrathful. It's an extremely powerful Malignant Heart type. They're very, very rare to find. They will fit in any colored socket as you
Gonna
go.
highlight a different
And
one.
you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
want
he's not
combination
highlighting a
of
different
all of
one.
these.
No,
So
this
even
is
though
just the
the
same
Wrathfuls
clip.
are pretty
Yeah.
strong,
Why
and
is
only
this the
looking to
same?
probably
But
have 1 or 2
he's
things
talking about a
based on what you
different
might
thing
actually
now.
need for your build.
Yeah.
They should have a
It
different.
looks like
clip
it's the one on the
talking-
right.
So
Yeah.
it's fun, like the.
He should be
like,
showing
even
the
though it's
Wrathful
experiment with,
one.
again, creating these different
Yeah.
But
problems
he
for players
didn't.
to solve different ways
Yeah.
for players to engage with things and really change up that experience by virtue of adding these new powers. They're going to unlock different builds potentially for classes, to Tim's point, and just basically be like a really fun, exciting new way for players to kind of inject new power into the experience.
But you're looking for the, so can the jeweler, when the jeweler right now can add a socket to, a piece of jewelry,
Yeah.
are they able to add colored sockets, or are those
So
only
you can't
found?
choose the color, but anytime a ring would roll with a socket when the season of Malignant starts, it's always going to have a color associated with it. There's not like, you couldn't get like just a regular jewel
But
socket
even,
anymore.
a jeweler created one?
So there's
If
no
I have
more
a
regu-
ring
so
with no
regular
socket,
jewelry
is the
sockets are
jewelry
gone.
colored?
It'll always be
Yeah,
colored.
so
You'll always
it's
be an
just
infested socket.
color
in this
socket.
socket. Yeah.
But
But that's true for unique. So if I'm looking for a unique, I have a unique ring like you talked about, but I want the blue version. I could find a unique with the red socket, and I could find it with a yellow socket. So I'm looking for a blue. So there'll
you
be
might be able-
multiple versions.
That's
of things
cringe.
as well, right?
That's so cringe.
Correct. Yeah.
There's gonna be a way to like use
Are
chromes. Are we gonna get
the
chrome
video earlier,
orbs?
like the player fighting a malignant creature. You know,
I don't like it
there's a
because
chance for,
make
as Tim pointed out,
an
like, there's a
item
chance for
dropping
all
with a
kinds of leads
second
out there in the
blast.
world to be malignant in nature,
Right.
which makes them a little bit more powerful. But then when you kill them and
Things
you
are
go
hard
and
to
actually
fight. Yeah,
use the
I
cage
know,
of
this
binding
is
to
dumb.
capture their heart, then you fight that super concerned.
Seems like it's gonna be very fiddly.
Like
But
buffing nearby
if it
monsters,
has really good
spawns
power
bigger and
behind
bigger,
it, it might be
bigger, like,
okay.
combat in that scene.
But it seems very
there's more to
fiddly
look forward to, and those get tougher and tougher.
and really bad for
wanna fight higher and
storage,
higher level
which is
versions of
already a
those and higher
pain
world
point.
tiers to get even better versions of those hearts.
Yeah, so you can
Hopefully
get
they
star
have,
versions of
like-
the hearts
Hold on,
as
wait,
you
what
go
did you
through
say?
it.
Wait, hold on, wait, sorry,
You might be
stop.
thinking like, okay, does that mean like the old, like the crappy hearts that I got earlier? Are those useless? You can actually break those down at the crafter as well to get a crafting material out of them that allows you to craft new items, including invokers. So invokers are something that you can use a little bit further on. Once you finish the campaign of Season 1, you will unlock the ability to go and use these at a specific place called a Malignant Tunnel. So if you are
By the way,
trying to...
that's also the name of my colonoscopy.
Okay.
What?
There we go.
Not needed.
And,
It's a serious thing when you're over 50.
This is-
You should know
and
that.
this- and this is when we-
And this is
So
cut
if
the
you have a
stream.
malignant tunnel, you
No,
should
this
get
is
yourself
good.
checked out.
That's
So
good.
in the world of Sanctuary, when we say Malignant Tunnel, we mean, hey, I'm a player and I want to.
That's
I
good.
actually want to
Good to
get
talk
more of
about
these hearts.
bowling
but it's just
health.
a
Just go
random
get yourself
chance
checked.
on elites out in the world. Where can I intentionally find more of them? There are these Malignant Tunnels. So there are
New
actually places
place to farm?
across the world
Okay.
where the Malignants
Yeah,
is
but it sounds like you're gonna
manifesting
have-
in dungeons. So if you
Okay.
specifically
Not
wanna go find
intended
more
to
Malignant
just
hearts,
farm them
you
over
can
and over
hunt
again.
down these tunnels.
Yep.
You can go in and hey,
Let's see
there
the
are more
balancing.
Malignant there. So there's a higher chance of finding Malignant monsters there. And if you want to guarantee it,
Choose
and
like
I
7.
really need a very specific type of Malignant heart. How do I make that even more likely? That's when you take your crafted invoker, you go all the way to the end of a Malignant tunnel, and you can use it on a Malignant outgrowth. And when you use it on that outgrowth, it now spawns that specific type of Malignant that's going to have the color associated with it of the heart you're trying to find. You
Just walk
kill
back.
that,
What?
and you're going to get
I didn't get any info from that
a
trailer.
heart.
I didn't get any info from that trailer.
You can do as you
Yeah.
play the game of,
That looked like any other cave. What was special about that?
video, it will be able to show you the going into the
Okay, what's the tumor?
invoker event where you can go in
And
and
like,
sort of which I've heard called a turkey baster from hell, basically, is what an invoker looks like.
It does kind of.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That wasn't the art direction on it, but yeah, that's where we ended up.
So yeah, at the end of these Malignant tunnels, you're going to find that there are these kind of
Okay, so we get to choose our color.
that you're going to be able to go and interact with, and each of the
That's the
tunnels
one we
has
wanna watch.
a few different ones.
I mean,
that
if
can
it's
potentially
cool,
spawn
I guess
colors
it's
of
cool.
Malignant,
Or if it's
outcomes
powerful, I
and
guess it's cool.
So it
think
gives
it's
you those
not enough.
opportunities to go and like really target farm, as Tim
Yeah.
pointed out, like certain kinds of Malignant hearts as the player's progressing through the experience. Yeah.
So when we show, like we were just showing it,
Technical
show the one
issues.
you were just showing, because that was
Okay.
the Invoker event. So basically, there's a growth. You get to the end of the tunnel. There's you're able to basically, essentially, you're requesting a monster of a particular color. Yes, you're saying like, I want a blue heart, a chance to get a blue heart by trying to defeat the blue monster. Yes.
That's right, and some of these, are, like particularly later on in the experience, like the
Oh,
most
they confirmed
powerful
season
parts you
journey
get are gonna be, delivered
on the right side of the
from
screen
season
with that
Invoker.
last quest.
Right, going into
I
that.
saw it.
So yeah, something we're very excited about.
So basically, the user Invoker on the one of the pods.
That's right. Yeah, the outgrowths from this malignant mass.
Which then creates a blue monster for you to fight. You have to take that down, which will then. So does this one go through the same mechanic where I have to kill it?
Seems like
Try to
They didn't they didn't finish the clip. They didn't bother to finish and show the reward.
If you killed this one, you don't actually have to capture it. You're fighting the powerful version of it like immediately.
That's what I was asking. Yeah, so you don't have to do the 1-2.
That's right.
Got it. So that's nice. So
What
it's
I'm
kind of a
getting
little
from
like the
this,
sigil crafting, where you basically, I've got a bunch of stuff
the
I'm not using
seasonal
right now.
journey
I
is
can craft it
not
down
going
so that I can
change
focus what
besides
malignant hearts I
the-
want. Because maybe my build, I know I want a
what is
brutal
people
heart,
complaining
but
about.
I haven't running into any blue malignants out there in the world. So now I can go into a malignant
This on
tunnel,
the
find my
right
way to the
side
end,
says like a
have an
season
opportunity to
journey.
use the Invoker to
Yeah,
create a
good.
blue
Season
malignant to go
journey.
after its heart. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So
Right,
there's
call
not
it
going to
out.
be like
And
an
I know-
alternative season journey.
That's all I'm here to do is
for
summarize.
That's good.
Eternal
He's like,
Character.
I will take everything you said, summarize it into 2
We're
sentences.
really going to
And I
need a
know,
way
like,
to have
obviously
your
with the story and
rings
so forth, there
roll
are, like, new,
different
like,
colors.
a new boss and so forth.
Like we
Yeah,
need
there's-
chromatic
we're not really
orbs.
talking about
We're
the
not
boss
that
so much
redacted,
today, but, like, yes,
redacted, but yes.
It's worth calling out. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is worth calling
there's new boss monsters.
Everyone
for
gonna
players to fight
complain
first
about
season.
that. Then gonna add
There
like
are
a
new
instead of
legendary items for
chromatics,
players to
it's
collect
gonna be
this
like
season.
Correct,
all
yes.
the
There's our legendary power.
Yeah, like a
the
gold
vendors,
cost
like,
just to
unique
reroll.
items
That's
for
I'm
players.
fine with that.
Reroll.
Unique legendaries.
Probably
It's
Right.
just the
Hold on.
effect of chromatics. I
What are
mean,
they talking about?
Thanks for that. Those are not just in the seasonal realm, though, right?
I missed what they were saying. What were they
That's
talking
right,
about?
those will show up in the Eternal Realm.
They'll
So
retread.
if you're a player who's like really trying to continue to progress your character in the Eternal Realm, there's now a few new items for you to go try to hunt for and use to kind of augment and change your build.
This is the moment where I can do the producer thing.
okay, yeah,
So
please.
Oh, yeah.
you probably saw before on the screen when we looked at the cinematic. It was awesome. And we said July 20th. Oh my God, there it is. The day it's coming out. We are actually putting out the patch a little bit earlier. So just for awareness, so everyone knows, you're going to see your game patching on July 18th. That is all of the stuff coming to you that is going to turn on July 20th.
Balance changes, the new items.
Yeah,
yeah.
don't
So
download the
July
patch day of
18th
the.
is
Oh, yeah, that's
actually
cool.
anything that shows up on the Eternal Realm is there right away. If you just want to continue
Yeah.
playing the game as normal.
That's
with
like a
existing
D3
characters,
season.
or a new Eternal character if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
July 18th, the new legendaries and uniques that they were just talking about.
New legendaries,
will
new
be
uniques,
available
okay.
to you on the Eternal Realm, as well as any other improvements, balance changes, rewards changes that we've made. Those will be there right away on July 18th. July 20th, the season turns on. You can now create seasonal characters.
I think it's like going back to managing expectations. I think one of the things we've been trying to be really clear about with seasons is that it is not a continuation of the main campaign storyline. Like we've been trying to use phrases like it's a new quest line. Working with Corman to solve the Malignant is a big,
Yeah, it's a
obviously
main
the
side quest.
journey you're on, but it's not
Yeah.
about the Anarius Lilith journey. It's not extending
I mean,
that
it's
story.
just
It's sort of
like-
a side story
Yeah.
inside the open world. Is
Yeah,
that
it just
fair?
takes place after the events of Diablo 4. But you're absolutely right. This is a new self-contained story within the season of Malignant, which is great because it just gives us it affords us a lot of opportunities.
Guess this is basically confirming we're not going to get actual main story till expansion. Like nothing at all that will
As I'm
impact
playing
Lilith,
to that now,
Anarius,
it'd
the
be
world,
amazing
the
if there was
demons.
some way to sort of
Yeah, it's just gonna
track
be
my
That's fine.
accomplishments
I
through
mean, that's-
the season. I don't know, maybe
Whatever.
some sort of journey
Yeah,
perhaps
so you
would
want
be
to track
really.
you want to track your seasonal journey through some kind of feature.
Is that, I don't know if I could tee that up any higher for you. We went from golf to
Yeah, went from golf to t-ball really fast, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is obviously with season 1, where we're going to bring out the season journey feature, which I know we've talked a little bit about on stream before, but I guess it's worth maybe calling out and maybe a little more clarity.
Hey, look, it's
a picture.
It's this,
Oh,
but
the
without
battle
redacted
pass.
all over right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is
No top secret.
Yeah, so this is the battle pass introducing as part of season 1, and then going into here you'll see the season journey, and again, so the season journey is separated into 7 chapters. And like these major chapters, and each of those chapters has a number of objectives.
That gives some
inside,
aspects.
Each of them in order to allow you to progress that
these
chapter.
unique.
And you don't have to do all of them?
You don't have to do all of
You're
them.
not
You do a
gonna hover
subset of
them.
in order to advance to the next chapter. So I think it's objective to
hovered.
objective, you're going to be
okay.
earning favor drops, which can be used to fuel your battle pass, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute.
Okay.
But you're also for your
Please-
chapter
please hover the
completion
aspect.
zones, you're getting
Hover.
drops that
Hover.
it's going to be used like an
Right,
experience
to the
battle
right.
pass. But you're also
Come on,
getting some
so close.
item rewards
Touch it.
and
Touch
you're
it.
gonna be
Oh.
unlocking new legendary aspects.
Okay.
Ones
I
that
don't- is that a bar-
get from
New.
Codex
New.
Power through
Okay.
completion. And also many of our new legendary aspects we're adding in the season. If
Okay.
you're playing the seasonal
Oh,
realm,
holy
you
shit,
can collect
bar
that
from
for your
Drew.
Codex of Power
Damn
by
it.
going to the season journey. So it's a great way for you to introduce yourself to some of these.
And they get
things
added
as
to
you're
your
kind of playing
codex.
through.
Yeah.
I love
that's
this.
good.
Like, one of the things that's hard about
That's cool.
One for each
doing
class.
Diablo 3
Yeah, I
is
guess.
sort of
And we get this a
journey.
chapter 1.
Do you love this?
I love this.
Oh, that actually feels really good to hear.
I love it. The notion around I like the fact that the subset aspect of it, because I know there are certain things. I'll pick a stupid example. Like
I think this is
hate
good so
sellers
far.
for some
I'm
reason.
gonna be. I'm not hating.
And so
I think it's
never
good so
want to
far.
complete a seller.
Yeah,
The
the battle
fact that
pass
I
seems
can
okay.
advance chapter 1 to go to.
Well, the
chapter
season journey is
2,
separate from the battle
that's
pass, but
below. It's
Kinda.
that's great, because that's like I find you get in a situation.
How many gems was it?
I have
32?
other games where they're like,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
must do this
So
thing
37
that you
new
really don't want
effects?
to do in order to progress. And the fact
yeah,
that
at
I
least
don't have
along
to
with
do that,
the other.
that
They
I
said
can
there's other
choose
new
different
legendary
subset of
powers.
things to continue
Hey,
to
hopefully that's not the
develop.
only 5 new ones.
Yeah, I think
No,
it's
this
really
is
good
from
to hear.
the
It's one of the things we really want to do is make sure that
chapter
like,
one of the
like the
season.
base example.
Yeah, there's
is
7
that
chapters.
we like,
7.
letting players use our
like,
fields of
how
hatred as
many?
opportunities to kind of like
8?
progress their
8,
characters
7.
instead of the season.
Seven.
We don't, and we want to include that
Which
in
is
the
the
season
PvP
journey,
fields, yeah.
which is the PvP
What?
content in the game.
PvP
But we don't want to make that like a requirement that you must go do this content
Oh,
in order
okay.
to progress your season journey. We want to give players the option to do this if they choose.
Okay.
So-
One thing I do want to call out here as well with the season journey, and I think you're going to call it out in some other places, is that it can be confusing to players initially that you go to this battle pass screen, you click on the season journey button. Do I have to buy the battle pass to get this? No.
Yeah, they're
Everyone
just
has
in the same
access to the
menu,
season journey,
but
this is
they're
a base feature
not-
that everybody is engaging with. Actually, everybody has access to the battle pass too. You're engaging with, even if you never pay a cent, you are engaging with the battle pass. You're getting
In
free
the
stuff.
seasonal realm.
In the seasonal
seasonal
realm,
realm.
yes.
And
Ryan
okay.
has always reminded me of something like in the seasonal realm, this stuff exists. There is no season journey if you're not in the season. That's very important. It only exists there. There is no battle pass if you're not in the season.
Right.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So yeah, that's the essentially the way the season journey works. Those final.
How do they get
objectives,
the
those final
codex
chapters are
unlocks
really, really
on
tough to complete.
the
They don't.
Get
Eternal
some
Realm?
like special like cosmetic,
Okay.
They don't.
like special
Rip
like,
those
item
out.
things towards the end of that,
I guess so.
that path. So
Right.
we're excited to see players.
That's
like,
fine.
engage with
Play
it, and
seasons.
continue to support it in future seasons.
And so we saw that the season journey grants
Maybe
you a
after
lot
the
of
season, they'll
favor
just
to
be
go
added
towards the
as
battle pass, but you
droppable
also
items.
earn favor just out in the world killing stuff. And
That's right.
I think they're
going to
be as droppable items
like whispers and dungeons.
on the
all these things
18th.
earning you favor as you
was
as
what
you
was
kind of play.
So
implied.
everything is gonna earn you
Earlier.
favor.
Getting your
Okay.
experience points as your chance
Were
to
they
get
saying that you
that
could
favor
play
as well.
everything
So
on the
if
18th,
you-
or just
if
that
you
you were
had
going to
never played
download
You
the
can only-
data for this?
You can only
Like,
play
we were
the
like
eternal
buy the
the
game
patch
for
notes will
time
go
with
live
the
on the
season, for
18th.
example.
Right.
This-
I thought they said that you could
Oh,
get all
no,
the
no, okay,
legendaries
no,
and
season
uniques.
character.
Yeah, that's
On the 18th.
that's what I'm
The
assuming
fact
is the
that
patch notes.
while I'm playing the campaign, I'm killing stuff,
Yeah,
and
on
I'm
the
still
18th.
earning
Yeah.
favor. Like this stuff is still sort of progressing in the background, right? In terms
absolutely
of,
correct.
I just won't run into I won't run into any malignant until I finish the campaign.
This is a nice screen.
That's absolutely
Where
right.
is
But
this?
you will, as you play, if you make a new character to your
Season's
point,
Blessings. I'm wondering what that is.
Playing through the campaign,
I
you
don't
will be
really like
earning
cosmetics,
favor as you're
but
killing monsters
it's
and doing
whatever.
things during the campaign. But a lot of those, and you can also progress your season journey. But some of those objectives might require you to go and interact with season features that aren't available.
They're buffs,
after you
I
finish
guess,
the
yeah.
events of the Diablo 4
If
main
we act
campaign.
under the
And that's
assumption
probably
that
one of the big
season
things
1
to
is
be clear
watered
about.
down because of
I know we're
development
gonna talk about
time,
the transition
this
later,
is
but
pretty good so
in
far.
terms of getting access to the mechanic,
This
the
is-
idea of talking to
I mean, we have
cormorants,
to see
capturing malignant hearts, having
what the
rings with
mechanic is
colored
like,
socket
but
or
it seems
jewelry with colored socket.
okay-ish.
That stuff all takes place.
Yeah, it's really similar to
post-campaign.
PoE
And so if you haven't beat the campaign
probably
yet,
a
you're
bit
not going to
more
run into these
content
seasonal
than
mechanics.
PoE.
No, it's
Oh,
less
no,
content.
it's-
It's so much less content than
the
PoE.
campaign
But
on the
it's
seasonal realm, but you will shortly thereafter. So one of the things you can do, and I know we're
hopefully
keep saying we're
they
gonna talk
improve the
about this, and then
quality
we
of
talk
life
about it
because
anyway.
it seems like the quality of
So,
life is
so
going
I
to
would
be
say,
really
like, you know, one
bad.
of the things you can do to get ready for the season is to make sure you finish your
of
your
the
campaign
season
playthrough.
mechanic.
Diablo 4,
Yes.
jump in. You can choose to skip campaign when you make your new seasonal character,
Right.
and dive right into the seasonal story and content
That's
immediately.
good.
And that's forevermore. That's
Campaign,
one thing
cool,
we've tried to
good.
say is that once you complete the campaign on one character on your
Yeah,
account,
one character, one
for every
time.
season moving forward, for any character
Is
you
that
create
actually
moving forward,
faster?
you can skip campaign and start off in Kyovashad level 1 off. Well, and you know,
Not always Kyovashad, but yes.
Is
That's
that the only
foreshadowing.
thing that we can be
I'd
doing
always
to
kill
prepare
Shad,
for
yeah.
well, we should
season
get to
one?
Spoiler.
We should get to the battle pass. So the favor. So you have favor flowing because you're playing the game.
You're
Move
playing
on.
the game because you're doing your season journey objectives. You're getting even
And I
more
was
of
going
it.
to say you're getting more, and the favor is really flowing because I'm
I like
completing
how we're just
season
staring at
journey
someone who's
objectives.
not
And so that favor
talking.
is feeding
Yeah,
into
you know.
your
Which
progress on the battle
doctor?
pass, whether you've chosen to just have the free battle pass or whether you've chosen to upgrade it to a premium battle pass. Correct.
That's absolutely correct.
So can we go back to the screen because I think it's one of the things. What we highlight here.
His microphone? Okay.
Part of the thing is kind of we use
They went back to the screen. They didn't say he also wanted to be able to talk.
one of the
If
reasons
only
you
he
would
had
want
been
to
using
complete the
a
battle pass
headset.
is you could look like this.
Yeah.
And by completing the battle pass in terms of the mount armor, the
He's in
armor that the
blessing.
character
He's
is
hovering.
wearing,
You can hover it.
so-
He's
you wanna talk
clicking.
a little bit about what kind
Yeah,
of
I mean,
stuff.
one of the things that's really
I
cool.
don't
about
I thought they just had a
I think
still.
it
I thought they had a
was
still
silly.
image up in
there are
office, so
these
I'm
really
impressed that
exciting
it's not actually
elements
still
Say
image.
with the
nothing.
characters.
Say nothing about
There
the
are like fun
Yeah.
modes to go chase.
I'm just
for
surprised they even had a
And we
even have it interactable. Honestly, right now, I thought they were just showing a still image from the.
This is actually one of our free cosmetics. Actually, is this the things are like a little
That
bit
looked
more
really
advanced.
bad.
You can
That's
use to kind of like role play different kinds
Oh,
of
that's-
themes out for your
that's
characters.
tunic
Just give you more
cool.
The
options.
helm looked cool, but
We
the
have, like,
tunic was
bigger
in.
stuff like
Yeah.
this, like
I
this
like
is
the
like
tunic.
like
I don't like the
Loki and
helm,
Lion stuff,
but
like some of like the
it's just
like real chase
Two kinds of
armor,
people.
cosmetics.
Yeah,
This is the
dude.
end of the,
I think the helm will look cooler without the stupid
I
demon
like
mask.
the first
If you notice
horse, then
either
this
the
one
role-playing
actually.
armor like the artisan,
I
The
don't like
this
that
horse
either.
actually
I
looks
don't
cool
like any
though.
of the horse armor.
It actually looks cool though.
I don't think there's a single good horse cosmetic in the game or what they're showing here.
Yeah.
We have a preview for all 5 classes, so you can see what it looks like.
Looks
on
better
a
than the
barbarian, what it looks like on a
fucking
druid, what it looks like on a
skinned rat
necromancer,
horse.
and
I
those
don't
sorts of
know.
things. And that's
I just
one
like
of the
my
nice things
brown
about the battle
horse.
pass is everything you're earning on the battle pass.
Yeah.
Class
I don't give a
agnostic.
fuck
Yeah,
what
for
the
those
horse
class-
looks
for those,
like.
for those transmogs.
The exception is the transmog weapons. There are transmog weapons on there that are class specific, just because classes
Classes
can
can
equip
only use
certain
specific,
weapons.
yeah.
So if your class can equip that weapon, then you have access to it. Just to reinforce, I think it was already expressed, but there are lots of free things on the battle pass. If
We're
you
talking a
pay to
lot
upgrade
about
to
the battle
premium
pass.
battle pass, what you're gaining access
But that's
to
fine.
are a bunch of additional.
That's kind of what we
cosmetic things.
expected.
So the only thing you're getting access to by paying is that additional cosmetic unlock. So there's really, really cool stuff, some on the early end and then especially on the tail end of it, that's what you're buying into. But the free version,
Keep going. I'm getting ready to transition.
okay, the free version
I know where I
of
want to
it
go after you.
still has some very cool unlocks and anything related to, well, you wanted to talk more about blessings, right?
Well, that's what they're saying with the free side. Like, so we were saying there's 27
This is what I wanna hear about.
free
Yeah.
tiers in the battle pass, and part of those 27 free tiers are smoldering ashes that you can get based on the level
Yes.
you are in the game
Yep.
and that you've progressed with favor. And what do those smoldering ashes get you?
So these smoldering ashes the player will collect the battle pass are, as you called out, like they're on the free track of the battle pass. You need to be you have a character of a certain level in order to be able to actually use them. So they're kind of like they're rate limited that way. You'll take those and you'll be able to use those and apply them to the seasonal blessings system.
Here we go.
And here,
Oh,
we can
good.
actually finally reveal all of these.
Okay.
So here are the places where, as the player's collecting these ashes, they can invest them here to give
Oh.
all of their characters on the seasonal realm kind of like this advantage able to carry through. So whether that is like bonus to like XP earned from monster kills, like we call
Okay,
out
I
here,
like that.
or things like boosting the duration of all elixirs that you're using over the course of the season.
Right, and you can looks like
Okay.
I'm assuming that I don't know if it's linear or not, but if I would assume it was linear, I can do it 4 times.
Pretty sure level 40
50%,
required.
60% duration on elixirs. In terms of that particular the earner.
Yeah.
60%?
Yeah, we wanted
Duration on
this to
elixirs?
be
Okay.
an extra little fun little thing for players to chase as they're going through the season to kind of help them
probably just start like
boost their
a
characters a little
boosting
more quickly
XP.
as they kind of get
Yeah.
deeper. And
I like to
deeper
see these get
into
more
the
interesting in later seasons, but this is
Give them
good. This seems like
different
this is
advantages to
okay.
play with while they're playing through.
So if I were to max out with my smoldering ashes,
I
they're
think
like
you never boost
earn a prolonging is
material.
where I want to invest my smoldering ashes. I can basically take my 30-minute elixir and make it almost a 50-minute elixir. So getting that
That
5%
doesn't
XP
matter.
boost.
You get
maybe
so much
for me,
elixir
it's
and
the
you
extra
craft
200
them.
thorns and the 200 armor. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, and give you boosts to
probably
like
the
get
first
more
two
opportunities
and
to
the
earn
last
like
one
the
are a
or
little
better
bit
million heart drops that can occur for you as you're playing.
And these are available to everyone because
Yes.
who's
Yeah.
in the seasonal realm because it's part of the free track.
Yes.
Somebody's
and
first
they are
message in the
limited
chat was
based on,
hello. I don't know
they're
why,
also
that
limited
just really
based on
tickles
level of
me.
the player, so that even if someone were to
actually
use
says
tier
hearts
skips,
drop
so
after
even though they might
completing
get to the tier that says
I think it's just like, I think it's just
it
to be
might
specific if
require-
you
it
want to
doesn't
do the
actually
campaign
unlock
on the
until you get to
season.
level
So
requirement.
Yeah, for like for example, like the first Ash that you unlock in the battle pass is I think it's tier 8.
Maybe
Tier
you
8,
play
Yeah,
yeah.
and it has a level 40 character requirement as an example. Just to make it really, really clear, like you will be able to use this in time, but immediately, like you need to continue to progress your character and like continue to level up, and then you'll be able to use that accordingly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can kind of do my little summary thing. So basically, the way what we said, so we have a seasonal theme of the Malignant, which has the mechanic of capturing malignant hearts and putting it into jewelry. We use that to complete our season's journey. Our season journey is rewarding us favor. Our favor, we're then putting into the battle pass to get really cool cosmetics and transmogs, but also based on our level and our tier in the battle pass, we'll get smoldering ashes. We can use those smoldering ashes to apply a season's blessing, which allows us to use those urns and get sort of perks for during just this season that we've unlocked.
That's correct.
So the free person's experience, if you never want to pay a cent, you are still getting a lot of power out of the season journey and the free aspect, the free unlocks on the battle pass. So this is kind of an increase in power for everybody. And then if you want to spend money, just reinforcing that, that's unlocking more cosmetics.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like they're amazing cosmetics. I am planning to pay to unlock them myself. But there's no power that comes from them. They are transmogs. They are not actual items. It's just a transmog you can place on your armor to look cool. They don't actually cause things to light on fire.
Yeah, it's just reinforcing what we had talked about before, like even before launch and so forth, is that the battle pass itself, anything that if you do pay for a battle pass, all the paid items are going to be cosmetics and for you, it's no pay for power.
And if you bought the deluxe or the ultimate edition, this you already will have a ability to make that a premium battle pass. It still doesn't. So that's great for them. So then let's talk a little bit about the transitional side of it. In terms of how I go into this or what happens. So there's a couple of different things. There's like, one is like there's a need. So there's a question, I guess we should talk about renown. Like one of the big things that we hear the most about is, hey, I spent a lot of time, and I know I did too. I completed all my renown objectives. I've got full everything. And now I hear, oh, I have to re-roll my character in season. Do I have to go find all the altars of Lilith? Do I have to go all clear the fog of war again?
Yeah, so I know
I
we talked
imagine
about
that
this
this
in
is
stream
the
before,
soft
but
end of the
definitely
stream,
bears
and we're just
repeating.
gonna
So
get
like
rehashed
when season 1 goes live,
We'll see.
players are going to be able to go.
Maybe this will be a big W.
Like all of the fog of war that they've cleared.
Where they say
everything, all
renown
the
is gonna
lore they've
be
explored on their characters in each of the zones, like in the Fractured Peaks and Scotsland and such. All
already
that's carried
unlocked.
over, as well as all of the renown you have earned from all of that, all of the
So
exploration.
can we
that
bring
you've
up
done.
the screen? So
Yeah,
basically, where we see areas discovered.
Yeah.
Let's say I've actually, okay, we'll say this is this person.
Yeah.
So right now they've got 30 areas discovered, which is worth 150 renown.
Right.
So what's going to happen is in the season, I'm going to have 30 areas clear inside of Kyrgyzstan, and I will have 150 renown already in the bank. And it will have unlocked whatever 150 renown will have
couldn't
unlocked.
they have pulled up a completed screen to give me an actual
You
example?
have that, and you're also going to have already collected all of your
They could
altars of
have.
Lilith that you've got from your
So
account as
the
well.
same thing here. So I will have 12 will be appearing on my map immediately, and I will have 120 renown in the bank with my other 100. So I'll have 270 renown already earned, waiting for me to claim when I fire up the season.
That's absolutely correct. So these are the advantages you get to start with. And like, if you look at like all the renown you can collect from,
but
the,
you'll actually
from
have
discovering all the
310
areas and getting
renown
all of your altars of
already
Lilith,
available.
It's going to get you in each
And,
of the zones. Basically, through the first 2 tiers,
270?
a little bit of the way through the 3rd tier for each of the zones for renown.
So
you get to
it's
start
like
with, like if you start at level 1 on day 1 of the new season with a brand new
580?
character, you'll start and you've done
I
all
can
this
do math.
with your previous characters and previous playthroughs. You'll have 5 skill points to play
One
with, and then
important
5
thing is you're
extra
gonna
potion
start
charges.
with
So
plus
you'll be
10
at 9,
skill
9
points.
potion charges.
At
right
level
away.
1, you'll have
Yeah.
5 skill points and 9 potions ready to go.
Absolutely. You just claim those things down. You're good to go.
We're gonna be
And your map.
yeah, we're gonna be at about the end of level 4.
So
you're gonna have to do level 5.
Up earlier when we think about
Yeah.
Which
hey,
is
I'm excited about
which is
season,
the
I wanna
worst
prepare for it.
possible
I've got-
outcome. I don't
what
know.
is it? It's the-
Level 5 is the
Wednesday?
painful part.
Today's the 6th.
Okay,
Yes.
so I have 14 days.
14
I have
days.
2 weeks. What
Yeah,
should
it's
I
like
be
12
doing
dungeons
these
and
next
30
2
side
weeks?
quests
And
per
so
zone or
one was I better get
something.
the campaign done because I
Yeah,
really want to.
complete
Yeah.
the
I want
campaign.
to fight the
That's
Malignant,
fucking
but now,
agony.
Like
I think we're
I
gonna have to
mean-
take
places to go
products again
to,
anyway,
like
so
dig
probably
deep
won't matter.
on clearing the fog
Yeah.
and dig deep on finding the altars, because those are going to carry into the season.
Yeah, all that stuff will carry over with you.
Okay, so then, Tim, how do I think about, I've got 5, 6 alts, my characters right now in the Eternal Realm. We're talking about carrying over progress.
Why do you have 5 or 6 alts?
Ensure that the progress, like the most
a lot
progress
of
character,
alts.
it actually...
He hasn't gotten past
I
level
think
30 on any of them.
Yeah, Tim, tell us.
No, he's filled his
That's a
stash, so
great
he's storing
question.
items there.
For
Okay, makes
various
sense.
technical implementation reasons, we do actually need you to log in on existing characters to kind of self-migrate some of your data with this. So this is something that we implemented based on player feedback that we got. So we put it in as quickly as we could. It is in for Season 1, but what we need you to do, once Season 1 comes out, actually once the patch comes out, you don't even have to wait until July. The altars and cleared all the fog of war. Awesome. You just have to log in with that person. When you log in with that character, all of that progress is going to be propagated across your entire account. It'll be saved as, hey, this is just unlocked for your whole
So your
account now.
season won't
At that
update
point,
unless you
any
log
character
into
you
your
log
old
on,
character.
either one of your existing
Yeah.
alts or any new
That's
character you
probably
make in
just a
seasons
technical thing,
will
though,
now
'cause they
have
weren't planning
all of that
on
progress. So you have to do it once.
doing that.
But after you've done that, it is now saved to your account. And just to reinforce, the experience you're going to have if you have unlocked
you can
all
do
these
that
things, it
on
takes a little bit
the
of work, but if you've unlocked all of
before
that,
the season?
when you
Yeah, it's just
start
like
using
a super casual player isn't gonna
wow,
know.
is that a lot of power? You are going to level pretty fast because extra 5 skill points, extra 5 potions. You are ridiculously overpowered when you first start playing. Like that is a lot of extra
It will
power.
accelerate you.
It's not gonna be
And
five.
because
It's gonna
that
be
is a big
more.
caveat. Like we will be reminding
Because
everyone. I'm gonna be
he
like
had, like,
literally
a
streaming from the rooftops. I know we will be posting it in our
tier
patch
3
notes
complete
on that
without
come out for the
everything
patch on the
on the
18th,
Discovery.
just to remind people that yes, log into your characters beforehand. Even if you log in, like if you jump into the season later on, you can log into those characters with the most amount of progress.
Well,
and
that's
so forth.
that's the two things we should, because there'll probably be questions. But one is, I don't do that for whatever. I go on vacation. I'm not playing. I come back. The season started. I can still log in my Eternal Realm character and have all that progress brought to the season. Yes.
Yes.
Even after the season started. So it's not like, oh, you only have 18 to 20 to get it those 2 days.
It's there forever. Functionally, from this point forward, anytime you ever log in on a character, it will just check like, hey, does this character have any progress that's not already credited on your account? Cool, I'm now crediting it to your account.
Right. And so and that's for the
Yeah,
seasonal.
it's
So
a
if
good
I
thing.
think about the Eternal Realm, like for example, my Necromancer has everything. I've got the full bar on renown on all 5. Not humble bragging. That's a point of fact.
Humble bragging.
Yeah,
Not humble
he's
bragging.
absolutely.
So for the next 5 minutes, we're going to talk about
So
this.
let's talk about how good my Necromancer is. No, but all I'm saying is I have a Sork that has not had the same level of progress in the world. So after the 18th, when I log in my Necro,
Oh, true. If your hardcore character's dead, you can't get your progress.
gets put to my account. When I go to log in my Sork next, even on the Eternal Realm, my Sork will
Yeah,
now
don't
have
play
all the
hardcore.
progress that my Necro.
Correct.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And let's say, like, just to dive really deep into this. So let's say that you've got,
I know
you've got 2 different
we
characters.
should do some sort of
you've
dev
got-
stream where we can talk and go deep.
That's true, actually, yeah. So let's say you've got like 2 characters you play. Like one has done everything in the Fractured Peaks, has uncovered everything in the Fractured Peaks, and has uncovered like all of the altars level both. You get another character who's gotten everything in Scott's Glen, who's unlocked like all the.
Why would you have a different character that's only done one? This is so
but it's good
cringe.
to cover this. But
This is so cringe. This is so not important. Everybody.
All of that credit will now be transferred to my Scott's Glen character. And
yeah,
my
but
Scott's Glen
they put
character,
in
all
like
of that credit will
all
be
the
applied to my
examples,
Fractured Peaks
like
characters.
all
At that point, all of the credit on the
possibilities,
progress I
so
made on
the
either of
stupid
those
people
characters.
Yeah, but the players who have this thing going on, the players who have this example going on, aren't gonna know to log into their character.
Has the most stuff, and then I want to log into that one. No, you want to log into every account that might have like tons of progress
It's
they've
fine.
made in different
Let them
directions.
talk.
Right.
And I think to just again, hey, let's talk about managing expectations. Some of you might be saying like, wow, that sounds a little clunky. And I think the point that Tim was trying to make was, hey, prior to season 1, we had actually talked about that you wouldn't have any renown progress carryover. You would have to go find the altars of Lilith. You would have to go clear the fog of war.
Stop talking right now.
The original plan when
that was
launching the
our
game,
original
or
thought as
prior to
developers of
launching the
this
The
game
original
was that
plan
we were going
that
to
there
crush
was
your
no
balls every
transition
season.
of state from
Luckily
the
for
Eternal Realm to
you.
seasonal realm as part of this.
We're only slightly
hearing
stepping
the
on
them.
feedback as we talked about
Yeah.
seasons and hearing the response that we got
Reduce
about
the ball
what, I have to
crush
find all the altars again,
slightly.
what I have to clear the map again, and wanting to make sure that we were listening to the players.
Yeah.
We put in a system that allowed us to do that, but is not the most smoothest, most sophisticated because we were doing it under very tight time constraints as quickly as possible.
Hey, did you want it done?
Yeah.
Did you want it done?
It's
The answer is
I'm
yes.
just
you want it
saying.
done.
I'm just saying. Like that wasn't the design from the start was not to do this.
Right.
I hate this
logging
way
a
of
character on
talking to your
18th
players.
make it
I hate it.
That's what we had to
Yes.
do to make it
It's
happen.
I like
This
so
is
disgusting.
bless you with
obviously
this.
player
So
feedback that we've gotten
disgusting.
since launch, so this is us implementing it quickly to address the feedback that you guys have been giving, and then on top of that, I like a huge shout out to our engineers for getting this all implemented before we actually jump into the season.
Much like the Nightmare Dungeon teleport,
Exactly.
like miracles can happen and very quickly.
That's
so
not a
lot of these
miracle.
actually
That's a
end up
basic
with going
fucking
to an
feature.
engineer
What?
and asking how
Fuck.
long it would take
So,
to
Fuck
do
this
it.
part.
The first answer
Fuck
is
this.
Kind of
right.
Fuck.
miracle that
Fuck.
things
Fuck.
are done.
And then they're like,
Fuck
okay,
these-
what about
fuck
making
this
it work
part.
right now? And always, if you told me you wanted to do this X months ago, I could have done it way easier because we implemented it completely differently. So, yeah, we make it work, but sometimes the fact that you have to log in.
Yeah,
to get the
if
project
only
properly,
people had
we
told
would
you
have
that we
made it a
didn't want to have to
smoother version
refarm
if
right
we
now
knew
and over and
months
over
ago.
again.
Right.
If only
Zoom in on me.
someone had given you that feedback.
Also, yeah, the Nightmare Port gets to the dungeon, which is double
Okay, it's not gonna
cringe.
happen. There it is. Okay, yeah, all right. It's a live game. We know we need to it's a live game. We know we are looking at trying to make improvements based on the feedback that we're getting from players. We're playing the game ourselves, so we're seeing how everything is really feeling as it's all coming together with a giant audience
What
of
is the
players
extra
playing and enjoying the
steps?
game. We want to make sure that we are making the right changes as quickly as we can for the community. Some of those things are a lot harder than others. But like all the feedback, like Adam, you called out some things really early on at the program, like we're hearing feedback about this and this, and like inventory space. We talked about gems last time and things we want to do there. We're trying to move very quickly in a lot of these things. Some of them are a lot more challenging technically to do than others, but we are rapidly moving on as many changes as we can because we are fervently trying to make the very best version of Diablo 4 possible in the fastest time frame that we can to deliver to the player base because. We're players too. We also want the same things. So just know that we're working hard. We care deeply. We love our engineers and our designers and our producers and the staff's been helping with like all of, like the hotfix and everything else. We are trying to make sure that we are delivering a really, really high quality experience to players on a regular basis. So just stick with us. Keep giving us that feedback. We're going to keep making adjustments as we go between seasons and other updates.
I can attest that whenever Joe would like to make a change based on feedback he's seen from reading it wherever he reads it, the first version is always, can we do this immediately? That is always the first request. Never like, hey, let's get this in eventually. When it makes sense and when it's comfortable. No, it's always, could we do this right now? Is it possible for us to do this right now?
Well,
So
I want to
that's
move
the first version.
I want to move the
invested in.
Overton window where I just expect everything to be done in 6 seconds.
But this is the thing about why about doing it safely.
But like even if you
I think
even
one
if you
of
say
the
you do it
sort
immediately,
of
like it's such
junior
bullshit.
mistakes
They
that
know they
people
have to
make
wait
is this
weeks
idea
for
of, like,
console to be
time is
approved.
only what it takes to implement, and it's not. It's time is also what it takes to test.
Because
and
just saying it, he
make sure
like
that it's
just being like,
robust
"Can we do it
and
instantly?"
so,
should
that's
be
one of the
the
things that like when you look at
result because that's not instant. It's
we
three.
never
It's like your
followed the
players won't see
sun.
this
You
for
shouldn't have
weeks.
to ask if you can do it
Around the
Yeah.
world,
instantly. You
and
should
that's
just
what
be
allows
doing
us to do,
Yeah.
we're what to 15, 16 hot fixes or more now.
Yeah.
And our big client patches is that ability.
So
to know,
these
and can we
they
get it?
they consistently
we have
talk
some
like we're
heroic
idiots in
engineers
these
who can turn
parts.
stuff around very
I
quickly.
hate
We
it.
also have some heroic QA teams around the world who are helping us make sure that when we make these changes, we're doing it in a safe way. So, but I appreciate your patience on that. And so this is exciting. Season 1, Season of the Malignant.
Yes.
It's finally here.
Yes.
I'm waiting to reveal this for a
in 2
long
weeks?
time.
In 2 weeks, and again, like Tim
It's
had
not
mentioned,
technically here for you all, but soon, very soon.
as Tim had mentioned, we will have a patch on the 18th for Diablo 4 that will contain all the changes that will be coming in with Season 1.
Yep.
If Tiffany Watt were here, who was on our Campfire chat before,
Yep.
she categorized our 103 patch as chonky.
Right.
I will categorize in Tiffany Watt's words
The technical
as
term, yeah.
super chonky for Season 1. It actually is our largest, or chonkster, as Tim
It
called
doesn't-
it.
it
Super
do-
chunky?
I think
What?
you're-
It
chonkers
doesn't-
Why wouldn't he
chonkers,
say
chonkers,
heckin'
so we're gonna pull
chonkin'?
up the Wikipedia entry and actually go
Boomer.
through
Why
the
would
history
you-
of chonkers.
Oh,
But,
Lord, he's
yeah,
coming.
it is very
What
big.
the- what?
So
He
we will
hasn't-
have notes up for that. And
Ugh.
again, players
I'm
can
disappointed.
prepare for
Ruined.
Season 1 by completing
Why
the
not just
campaign
call it
for
Heckin'
sure.
Chonk?
Do the campaign,
And making
or
sure.
follow
Lord,
yeah,
he's
So
gone.
basically, there's no
or
reason to
discover
log
the
back
map,
in
and
until
of
now.
course,
Until then,
all
until
your
there,
altars.
there's no reason to log
So
until
come
season until it
for,
starts.
Diablo 4, and then
Well,
again we also
2 days
You gotta
before.
log in to get 2
just
days
more
to
improvements
get
that will
your
be
progress.
in that patch.
I won't be logging in until the
our
18th.
balance
So
changes to bug fixes to you name it. I can go on. There's even some reward changes coming for some Nightmare and Helltide related
Say it right
activities
now.
as well, some endgame activities, because I've been hearing some feedback regarding like, hey, it would be great if we can get like maybe better rewards with some of these activities, and so I know some of those changes are coming in that actual update as well. But I know we want to do Q&A.
We do.
Yeah. And this is a live stream, by the way.
Oh,
So
Q&A.
I know we get sometimes people are like, I don't know if this
so
is
Rob
live.
from
No,
the
this is
block.
totally live. So we're actually going to be bringing in, we're actually going to kick off Rod, because we're done with him. No, I'm just kidding. Rod is actually just
I'm actually going to go and annoy you from the side.
I know. It's the worst. Rod's going to jump over here. We're actually going to bring back in Chris and Ryan from the Immortal team, who will be jumping in here.
I think you're supposed to open that chair. I didn't do my job.
I
didn't do my job.
Rod had one job and failed to do it.
I failed to open the chair.
So we're going to bring these guys in. I know we have
Q&A
questions queued up from different people in Twitch chat. So if you guys have questions, of course, feel free to drop in questions and
Chris is
everything.
not quite in. You need to switch clearly.
Wait, they don't have everyone in frame?
Too, because I think I'm
Yeah, I think we can scooch a little bit more.
Live television.
we're scooching live.
The water bottle,
So here's
no.
the problem. We also the
Like all
production
kinds of
team hates me.
cables beneath us.
I want to give a shout out to our production group behind here, because I literally go like, oh, we're only gonna have like 2 people, and then we continue to add people, and then Rod wanted to be in it yesterday. So now suddenly we're up to like 20 people, and this room can't hold this many people. So I apologize.
you're
They
right,
are
okay.
angels, and
Hold the
they
fire
deal with me. But we do have some questions, and I will be kind of going back and
like
forth
a
in between both
soccer
of them. But
picture
we do.
where
Oh,
people
oh,
back,
perfect. We do have some
people
questions up here. Someone's
front,
also calling.
holding the wall.
Okay, respect it. Good question. A question.
Question. Any updates around? This is for D4 specifically. Any updates around respecting characters?
Yeah, so right now I think that there's a few different concerns we're hearing from the community. There's the general cost of respecting characters, and then there is at various stages of the game. And then there is the actual experience of respecting a character, particularly when you're deeper into the Paragon system.
Okay,
Like, that
good.
takes a lot of effort.
They know.
So
Now say
we
something
have,
important.
Longer term plans on the user experience side, like on the menu side.
Okay.
We want to improve the flow.
Can that be now? That's a get that in now thing.
That's a today.
Yeah.
Into seasons in the future.
You're looking to add?
Committing to today for that.
What?
In terms of
No
the
date.
actual,
That's
the
fucking
like that we're
unacceptable.
evaluating things on like the gold economy, and we're taking a look at like what players are doing on a regular
Gold
basis.
economy,
We're
game
not
just have
seeing
a-
any fundamental structural changes to today at this time. But
What the fuck?
We're satisfied with where things feel like in the 1 to 50. One thing we will be adding though is as part of seasons, there is now a new reward that you can collect as you're going through the season journey at the end of each season, called the Scroll of Amnesia. Which once you collect a Scroll of Amnesia, you can use that one time to basically reset the entirety of a character all in one go for no gold cost at all. So these are gonna be like pretty fun things to bring back with you to the Eternal Realm if you want to use for.
You're gonna make me have to farm
or another character. So
a thing that should be a UI element?
Adding a few of these as the player is progressing through the experience, kind of make that a little bit easier.
What?
And that Scroll of Amnesia is everything. It's all your skills,
It's all your skills, all your
Paragon,
Paragons,
everything
yeah.
goes to 0.
You're gonna make me farm for a UI element?
I'm reading everyone's names. 8 miles west. How much will
A basic UI feature?
Early on, but if you guys want to reiterate,
It's a token
The
from
Blood Knight will
Diablo
cost
2,
you nothing.
actually.
The Blood Knight is free.
It doesn't matter.
free, so
You're gonna make me farm a basic UI element?
existing Immortal
This is,
player can literally jump
element
in,
for
start
20
playing
years
the
ago.
Blood Knight on day 1, which is on July 13th.
It's a battle pass reward?
And of course, you can play through the campaign.
Yeah,
We
that means you
mentioned
can't farm it.
has
You have to
essentially
just get it
custom veto
once.
and everything associated with it.
No.
He did just dies of fucking cringe.
Oh,
What did I
God.
just hear?
That's a
What?
statement all the time. Is you should be more prepared.
So their response. Okay, I'm muting them for a second. Their response to respecking, they acknowledge the problems completely, and their response was, "We're not going to do anything about
One
it."
time.
No, their response was literally, "We're not going to do anything about it yet. We're looking at something maybe, and then for now, you can get this from our battle pass one time to do completely not what you're asking for."
So I have a friend who's mowing the lawn and can't turn into the
Florida.
stream, so I'm just kind of like
Committed to
clipping
saying
in the
the
Discord
name.
chat,
We don't
and I
want
just told
anyone
them they have
to
no
suggest that these are
plans
not
at looking to
real
respect.
Yeah, that's basically it, yeah.
Seasonal mechanics be added to the Eternal Realm after the season ends.
Okay, this is an
I
interesting
think that's
question.
something we didn't actually clarify fairly well.
That is a great question that actually gets asked internally as well a lot. Like, hey, this is awesome. Are we going to keep it around forever? Initially, No, like initially the version of the Malignant mechanics that you're seeing are not planned to show up in the Eternal Realm. However,
Hold on,
we are
he's talking
reserving
about-
the right as developers that if we see something cool and we think, wow, this is just fantastic, this should just be part of the game, that we will just make it part of the game. So it is
Yes,
absolutely
you should be
an
planning
option.
on having it be
Some
part of the
mechanics
game.
You might see in future
This is just
seasons
the PoE
might be
mindset.
that way right away. We might be planning that, hey, this will show up.
I think it's wrong, but
others will evaluate them as we play them.
I mean, the old
see
PoE
if this is
mindset
working really well.
was
This is something that we want to integrate with the Eternal version of
to
the
have
game.
it be eternal.
This is
And I
current.
think
This is
PoE
current
That's
PoE
not
mindset.
not going to be as
Yeah,
part
well,
of
it's
seasons.
only current PoE mindset because they only
Intentionally
care
using
about
those
PoE
opted
2.
opportunities to create content for the base
And
game.
they probably only care about their
Stuff that persists
expansion.
beyond the end of the season. But we really do want to hone in on the idea that we're like Malignant Hearts are very powerful, as we talked about before. They're really, really cool. They're very exciting. We can't add something exciting like that every season if it's expected to all last, because the game's going to be a complete mess.
Right.
So we're not.
I
we're not gonna do
disagree
that.
entirely.
I do
What we
too.
end up needing to do is all of those things would be extremely.
That's not good.
in terms of what they
That,
offer.
that means that they're going to be
dude.
severely curbing the interest of the season because of that. That they're literally pigeonholing themselves. That's a
literally
that's a
just
huge
borrowed power
that's a
bullshit,
huge that's a
dude.
huge design constraint.
The game in general, but, like, everything's gonna need for
That is
opportunities
fucking
as well.
ominous as fuck for the
Like,
like that is
part,
foreshadowing
you
as
know,
shit for the
something
next
of that size in
seasons.
season 1, then add something of similar size in season 2, and then season 3 and season 4, because the game's going to get very extremely dense and difficult for players to really navigate. We want to be able to like take these things away, introduce new ideas, but having known what worked really well with Malignant Hearts and what stuff we could maybe have improved upon, we get to take all those ideas forward.
It's also part of the cool factor of the season is that when you're going in, these Malignant Hearts, it's there for the season. So even let's take the a player that, let's say,
They're gonna ditch this by season 6 or 10, somewhere in there. They'll ditch this idea
You know, I have 3 different barbarians
because
already on
the players will because it will not be working.
And all you play is rogues, and all you do is build rogues.
There might be a lot of those too. But let's say a barbarian, that's my hypothetical.
Dude,
I'm sticking with it. So
PoE with the
barbarian
fucking
lover, and I think
W
they'll be
coming out and
excited.
announcing their next
Season
expansion
one,
right
some
now,
time
middle of their
to use
stream.
barbarian because you
Yeah.
have all of these new Malignant powers that allow you to make radically new builds that are
We'll
completely
watch that
different from
afterward.
barbarians you played in the past.
Look at
Your
that
end
afterward.
game is going to be very different. So that excitement goes away if we just say like, oh, all of these powers just exist in the game forever. The whole idea is that no, every season is a fresh new experience that gives you builds that did not exist previously. So the idea is some of that stuff is always designed to go away.
That doesn't.
So Joe, I mean,
It going
one of the
away
things-
doesn't make it
Rod
not
off camera
new.
speaking.
Rod,
Rod.
camera, hey,
Yeah,
voice
sorry.
guy. Joe,
Yes.
maybe speak to the fact that everybody
I
starts in the
think
same
that's
place
wrong.
this season is one of the benefits, so that people aren't
There's
like
a
a year
wrong
behind when they go to play season
approach.
4.
Yeah, that's an
for
important
Yeah.
part
the
of this as well.
developers.
When we,
If-
one of the reasons we really like
It's
the
still
idea
going
of
to
when
be
players
new
start
and
back fresh
powerful,
have, like,
even
the
if it
economy
does
reset,
eventually
players
go
really
to
jump
the
back into
Eternal
space,
Realm
level 1 with
when
characters,
it's new.
is it allows
Huh?
us to focus on making sure the entirety of that journey is really engaging and exciting for players to go through. And we want to make sure, like by the end of the first session, for example, like you're getting exposed to like the new features and content available that we're introducing in that season. That everything feels like it's balanced in such a way that players can really enjoy the new things that we're adding in the way that they're kind of intelligently mixed with the rest of the features in the game itself.
The really
So that, like,
dangerous
that we think
part
that
about
experience
them
is
making
part of what makes the Diablo game a Diablo
seasons
game
as
is,
only
like,
borrowed
making a new
power is that
character,
shows that they're
you know,
not
getting
going
those
to
random
like
drops, like
build it up
building
over
towards the end.
seasons. They're
With
just going to
regards
wait
the
for
way that
expansions to
we
actually
decided to
like
conduct our efforts
make
in season
meaningful
Diablo
improvement.
4. We think this is a really like the prime example.
I
of
think
what
the
can
main,
make this work.
the main problem is the base
But I
game
wanted
is
to
not
hit
enough.
on the point, the fact that if somebody
And like
buys
just
the
tacking
game-
one thing on top of it's not good.
Yeah,
enough.
that's
they
like
can't-
they gotta keep
They're not, like,
building.
fundamentally behind.
They have
if
to
somebody-
have
if
it
somebody, like, I'm
compound.
gonna
Yeah,
mess
they
with the
have
camera people. Can you?
Yeah.
You can't even do it, can you? You can't even get there. All we can do is I can just have my talking and stuff. Oh, hey, what's going on? The
More
notion
people
of-
to the
They
stage.
are
the thing
doing
that
the
we're
soccer
talking about
thing.
Is that
Yeah.
we
Get
want,
some
again,
more in
The
there.
game is a live service. The game's going to live for years.
Me
We
and the
want
ball
somebody who
in the middle.
buys the game a year from now to not feel like they're a year behind.
God, that's so
One of the
fucking
benefits of
cringe,
seasons
bro.
is in season 4.
But they want all the old season content. Let them play it. Like have the idea. Let the game feel like it's grown from a year ago. Not that they bought a year-old
Everybody
game.
from this moment on is
Dude,
now falling
this is-
behind. Seasons
this is-
allows us to have that fresh.
They are not. You are not selling a Dark Souls game. You are not selling Elden Ring, bro.
This is a really good opportunity for us to make sure that players
Stop thinking you're selling Elden Ring.
when you want to come in a little bit later into the game experience. If you've taken a season or two off because something else came out, you know, we want
Their
to-
idea of live service is so
whenever
conflicted.
the most important
Like
thing for us in
they
seasons is
constantly are
that we
conflicting
right
with
now
their saying we
is, like,
know it's a live
when
service
you play
game. We want it to
seasons,
feel like
you
that.
Diablo 4, you're
But
having a
then they
great
say
time.
shit like
But when
this.
you've reached all the goals and done the things that you think are really important, and you want to go like take a break to go play something else for a little while, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. We do the same thing.
You don't
all
fall
right?
behind,
But
yeah.
when a season rolls and there's new things for you to come check out, that's a great time to come back. Particularly if you had a good time playing before. That's exactly when you should come back and check out Diablo 4.
Two immortal guys
Yeah,
are just like.
I'll be honest. When
They're
the
just
next
there.
WoW expansion
Once
comes
they
out,
have
a non-zero chance.
I mean,
that
they're gonna
WoW
get
for a
questions,
while.
I'm sure.
They're
But it's
gonna get
great to know there's
questions,
a
but
point that
like,
I can
Yeah,
come back
keep
to
looking at their
Diablo 4,
knees, and then they keep looking
everybody's on an
back,
even
and they're
footing.
like, "All
Yeah.
right, this is."
Question here from Jeffrey Allen,
Diablo
and
4.
didn't specify the D4 or DI, so I'm actually going to ask both because I think this is relevant to both. Also,
Why do you have a new mic?
I actually don't know.
Why does he have it?
But yeah, two mics, guys. I'm very.
He's mic'd up, dude.
You have me in stereo. Can you say which cosmetics will be transferring between
so
characters?
loud.
So for instance, like for
This question, no
Diablo
Karak.
Immortal, we'll ask this specifically for Diablo Immortal, and then we'll talk about Diablo 4. But in regards to transferring cosmetics, like if you ended up buying a cosmetic in Diablo Immortal, does that actually also appear in the Blood Knight?
So cosmetics purchased prior to the Blood Knight's release will not be retroactive.
Oh, that's bad.
However, the
Sorry,
so
Immortal players.
the Mother's Lament.
This is Immortal?
Hatred's Heritage.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
an immortal question.
The
He's
Blood
asking for
Knight.
both
For
games.
the Blood Knight.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So going forward, there will be now new
Great
cosmetics
question.
available. For
Blizzard
the Blood
Shield
Knight,
dies
just
of
as they are
cringe.
for all the other classes in
Yes.
Immortal. And then I guess for D4, will cosmetics be transferring to seasons, and will they need to be reobtained? I know this was like a question that we get a lot from people in regards to transmogs, and if you salvage specific stuff, how does that work between characters from Eternal and Seasonal Realms?
Yeah, I believe that's all transferring over with you when you go into the new season. And obviously, every cosmetic set that you're via the store and via the Battle Pass, that stuff also is going to be carrying over with you.
Yes. If you ever unlock anything, your whole account has access to it
I
forever.
just hear
Your
breathing.
functionality.
And static.
I shouldn't say it that way. It sounds like we're going to change it.
Yeah,
That
don't
is
use the
not
word forever,
functionality.
ever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nightmare. This from Kincho Kimo.
Actual name
Nightmare
called out?
teleport was great, but why can't we just teleport
good
right
question.
into dungeons?
Oh, actual
rather than
question.
Just to the entrance. So this one I think is interesting because Nightmare. We obviously incorporated the teleport here in 103. It was another thing that we had talked about where it was community feedback that we had gotten, and the team jumped on it really quickly to implement it in a specific way. And we have been seeing a lot of feedback in regards to players having to teleport outside of dungeons and kind of go through like a couple load screens. It was a quick,
Okay.
I know, implementation
Acknowledge.
from the team. And
Okay,
everything.
now
So
fix
I know
it.
It's something that we've been hearing from our side, and it's
Looking
something that we're
at?
going to be looking at more here in the future for optimizing and making sure that we can implement and maybe in a better way from some of the features that we've been just kind of.
So not till season 2 at earliest.
On
They didn't answer the
we
question!
Have,
Yeah.
Was there some
They're
sort of
just-
Castlevania?
We're looking at it.
inspiration?
Just talk for a while about the question.
Looking
Say
very,
fucking
very
nothing.
similar to some popular characters from that franchise.
Yeah, that was essentially someone asked
very
about
pretty
teleporting into nightmare dungeons. Now somebody else
vampire-ish
asks
people,
about.
but not vampires.
I think we discovered
Yeah.
that was kink, by the way.
We can turn off Rod's mic now, so that's all we need to do. But yeah, was there any inspiration kind of thrown with the Blood Knight?
I think, when you're working with a tropic idea in fantasy like vampire.
This guy sounds like he really
you
likes what he
take
made, so that's
inspiration
good.
From all over.
Yes,
the
this
spear
is-
thing puts us in
Yeah,
mind
sadly
of
case for
Vlad
Immortal.
the Impaler. The aesthetic, you've already
True.
talked about some potential references, but I think for us is as much like what we take out as what we leave in. We don't want the Blood Knight to feel
want this
like
guy
a
in the
grab
D4
bag
team
of
right now,
all
please.
vampiric myths.
How
They're very
do we
specifically
feel?
grotesque.
We're
We're not done yet. We're not done.
disparaged,
We're not done
weapons
yet. Hang on. I wanna,
oriented,
They
and
could
so
bring it back,
things
though.
like
I wanna actually hear everything
myths,
here.
We're
like
building.
turning into wolves, etc. That we immediately said, hey, these need to be off the table. And so,
Paint.
in that regard, I think there's a lot of familiar that we're channeling, but there's also like a very dialed-in identity for the class.
Awesome.
Everybody knows that it's necromancers that turn into mist.
That was a good joke.
He actually say it.
Let's see. In regards to Diablo 4, we have. Will you guys be nerfing or buffing in the middle of seasons, or will you be making changes after the season starts?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
They're going
So-
to just go back on
this
this
is from
literally at
Josh,
any
by the
time.
way, so.
This is not a good
Real
question.
person. Yes, this is a good question.
I don't know,
So
he said it was a
made
good
number of
question.
adjustments during the preseason period to make sure that we're bringing some
listen up.
builds back into where we expect them to be.
It's a waste of time. Shift G.
Performance-wise, when we go into the seasonal release,
Where
we do
is
want to
the
create
skip
structured
question
moments in time
about
that
it?
we're going to be talking about, I think, more in future streams. When we expect like buffs and nerfs to happen. So we have like
It's
we
gonna
have like
be
a
buff
regular
and
set of
nerfs,
like
the
patches that are going to be
legendary
coming
gems.
after the season is released, where we have like a better schedule
Malignant
like, in
gems,
cadence when we're talking about these
It's
things.
gonna be
We really
no
want to try to
ba-
reserve
no real balance there.
like big
They need
nerfs
to
and
fix
big
that.
buffs
There
for
would be
only like extreme
bad
outlier cases. And
nerf
we're thinking we're like really
Okay, so they're just doing what I said. They're reserving the option to do it at any time.
so we want to try to keep that more
Yeah.
constrained, and we also want to have just
are
pure
you
general
behind?
cycle
Yep.
balance updates and things.
I'm not watching
So
YouTube
we'll
stream. I'm
kinda
watching
keep
Twitch
things
stream, and
more
I'm like somehow falling a minute or so behind. I don't know.
Yeah, things will be pretty stable throughout the course of the
You're way
season,
behind.
unless
Yeah,
if
plus
one of the
like
malignant powers.
8 minutes
I know I
ago.
joked about them being broken, but if the zone lights on fire when you use a malignant power,
Yeah.
we're gonna patch that. But otherwise, we're gonna try and keep things stable.
I know
Yeah, I
we're
want the
running
zone to
close
light on
time 'cause
fire.
we were planning on the stream to be 90 minutes, and we were 1 minute away. So I'm gonna lightning off a few questions. A big question within chat is
go.
obviously about stash space, which is something that
Hey,
we
Please,
talked
okay,
about,
acknowledge and
Going to
fix.
address.
I'll say it real quickly though.
Yeah.
Like we definitely
hear you.
everybody about this. We are
We're
talking
talking.
a lot about what we need to do with this. We've got good.
We have
Of
plans.
things we can do to improve the situation. I know it's frustrating to hear me say like, what you were able to do this, like you could be able to do like nightmare dungeons this quickly, but like the reality is like we are moving really quickly on this, and we're gonna be trying to provide more space in the future. We're figuring out how like we're
In
gonna
the
get that
future.
accomplished.
Yeah, and also one thing
Like-
to note is I know we talked in campfire chats about how gems and so forth were going to be part of the part of materials in the future. So I know when that hits, like that will obviously free up a lot of stash
Yeah, there's
space
lots
for
of different ways
users
to kind of
and
like
stuff that.
slice away at this problem. And that's like an example of what we're trying to do to start trying to mitigate this.
It literally feels like
And then,
they're just telling you to buy a second account. It almost feels like that's what they're pressuring players to do.
Much time between seasons. Still wants to level up his main. So in between seasons, obviously, there is. We had talked about seasons lasting 3 months.
It's a minimum of 12 weeks. Sometimes it might be a little longer, but you'll always
Correct.
have at least 12 weeks to complete your season.
Correct. Yeah. So you guys will hear.
based on the calendar dates, right? But
Yeah. So you guys will hear like no matter what within or like once we hit that 3 month period, you'll start to hear news about the next season actually hitting and everything like that.
So there's going to be a season
And
downtime.
then this one, I guess for Rod, are there any plans on new classes coming to Diablo 4?
Okay, actual
Heard
question.
about the Blood Knight, so they're now.
We have nothing to announce at this time.
wow, that was very
Yeah. Rod sitting
Well,
off
I'm into
camera
the
can,
game, it's not
can
gonna happen.
answer that perfectly. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that I think we're gonna wrap it here
At
for
least
today.
1 year.
Obviously, we talked a lot about
Yeah.
all the stuff with Diablo
It took
Immortal
a year
the
for
Blood Knight coming
Immortal.
out on July 13th. We also have for Diablo 4 Season 1, Season of the Malignant, which is going to be
They put that
the
like
patch
a-
will be
that's your
on July
answer.
18th, and then the
That's your new
actual
class.
season starts on July 20th. We do actually have 2 blogs, one on on DiabloImmortal.com and one on Diablo4.com. They'll be going live either
over?
right now or immediately after this
I'd like
live
to
stream.
lunch
That'll have
really
all
quick
the
and go
details
back
and
for
information
the
that we just talked about
cuts.
here on the stream.
All right, good luck.
And yeah, lots of stuff coming up here for Diablo.
Patch this afternoon.
Oh yes, and there's a patch this afternoon. You'll be seeing. Oh, I forgot. That's what I have to do immediately after the stream. I was trying to get out of it, guys. But we will have a patch. We'll have patch notes up on Diablo4.com. We have a patch article that will actually note, and we'll be updating people when that patch does hit. It is a client patch. It will require a download. It will be on all platforms. And yeah, lots of Diablo stuff coming up here in the next few weeks. Really excited. Happy Diablo family.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff coming up. I know we will be rating 2 Diablo content creators immediately after this stream. One on Twitch, which is Barricade, and the other one on YouTube, which is Killswitch. So make sure to tune into those guys. And thank you guys so much.
They
Thanks for
didn't
tuning
talk
into,
about World Tier 5.
The Diablo developer
True.
update live stream, and
I think that's
from
really
everyone
bad.
Here on the Diablo team.
That was
Hope
the
you have a
minimum I
wonderful
expected, and we didn't get that.
Thanks, everybody.
The most damning thing, the worst part, the thing that I think is so despair, is that they said that the seasonal thing, the malignant gems things, are going to be like completely just borrowed power they're going to take them away after the season ends. Unless like the community really likes it. I guess we'll have to see what the community really likes it means. But like to me,
Not found. Their
just
links
the
don't work. Sorry.
Just the mindset of putting in a season that you aren't expecting to put into the game like that's really bad, because this game needs to have a buildup of like activities, side things to do, like more complexity of like crafting, more just like it needs.
They are planning on doing expansions also.
Yeah, but
Those are too
they
slow.
need to. Those are too slow. They need to have the seasons be things that.
All right.
If PoE was
Build.
only expansions and never put any of the league mechanics in, it would feel very, very empty.
Yeah,
All right.
like it's a bad thing right now that PoE is in a state where they're not putting in seasons permanently.
All right. Can I get? I want 2 minutes to go over what happened.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Over the depth of what happened here. So, in review of Diablo 4's first season, we are not
From the announcement.
we are not getting a actual new end game content. We are getting Malignant Tunnels, which are sellers with an actual reward. We aren't actually getting any upgrades to Nightmare Dungeons that were notable enough to mention. So like the season theme, they weren't even clear if it works in a Nightmare Dungeon.
It's definitely gonna work in a Nightmare Dungeon.
I don't know if
Sometimes rares you come across will be Malignant rares. Sometimes they're going to be Nemesis rares.
Yeah, but
And
I
then
don't
you'll be
know.
able to-
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen in a Nightmare Dungeon.
Ain't no way. Surely it'll happen.
But
It would be harder to make it not happen.
Okay, we are not getting an actual new end game. Like, okay, Malignant Tunnels aren't going to be a challenge. They're obviously meant for you to clear them and get the reward. They're not actually a content for challenge. They're not actually something to farm and be interesting. They're something to farm so you can be done with them and not do them again, which is not good in my mind. The quest line might be kind of cool, but that's not going to last longer than like 5 hours. We got the 32 new gems. That hopefully some of those actually enable some builds. I don't know how those are going to fix some of the make classes more interesting, unless some of them are class specific, but it sounds like they're just 32 generic. So hopefully they do something cool. And then here on our website, they say they've got a new. There is Varshas the Consumed can be found at apparently the end of one of these tunnels. Okay, there's a new boss battle. That's still not enough. One boss. That's not.
I wish they would have shown us like any amount of the boss, like anything.
There no new boss.
We can have some idea.
Yeah,
because like that boss battle could just be the thing they showed us with the tumors. Like
we got one
at the end.
We got one.
Where it's just like an elite mob.
Yeah, there's a season boss. We're gonna call it the season boss. There's a seasonal theme boss, and yeah. Alright, there's more here. Battle Pass images, season journey. Okay. Cool. What is? Okay. Yeah, these are, so we got things like critical strikes, triggering me for seconds, causing lightning to arc. Okay, these seem cool, you can level them up or whatnot. But like, then we've got it says it got new gear here. You got 6 new unique items to discover and 7 new legendary aspects to earn along the season journey. So there's only 7 across the season journey. That seems pretty lacking, honestly. Only a total of 7 new powers. That's
across all classes.
Yeah. 7 new powers across all classes. And the 6 new uniques are just going to be the one from the data mine, probably. Maybe they'll be new, actually, but that's still not enough. IMO. That's like, especially if they're like class unique, that means there's like, to me that sounds like there's 5 new uniques, 1 for each class and then 1 global, which is okay, whatever. And then we've got the season journey itself seems cool. We've got the blessings things which you build up, which just seems like a cool little nice little benefit to play the season. The chapters seem okay, but like, where's the reason to keep playing the game after you finish the season journey? It very much so feels like a login, complete the season journey, hit level 100, and there's still not content. Like, where? I set my expectations pretty low.
Well,
I was figuring that there wasn't. I expected there to be nothing in that regard. Not yet. And I don't know if they're ever going to get there. But there is. It is the season reset is to this season's reset is to log in, do the campaign to get XP, level to 100, and then quit again.
Content egg is to get a ring that has perfect stats and the correct color of socket, which is going to be just tons and tons of hours of just looking at rings.
I think that they're going to hopefully they'll change that. The having to drop the right socket color or roll the right socket color randomly from the vendor, absolutely cringe. And then what triggered me the fucking most there at the end was where they acknowledged the respecking thing and then fucking offered nothing. Actual nothing. Whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about. I heard them specifically call out that they weren't going to look at respecking.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
I mean, the only thing that can make, like, the problem is, like, it doesn't even matter how interesting, like, it will add something if the seasonal gems are interesting. Like, actually interesting and unique and provide some differences. But once you hit level 100, or for most players, once they hit level 80 and they feel like their character power isn't increasing that much, there's still not anything to do. You're probably going to have found the boss by level 80 and killed it. Like, and you already have your aspects because they come from the journey. Like, what keeps somebody playing? And like, I get that they acknowledge that they think people should walk away from the game and then come back. But I think they vastly are underestimating how long people will actually play. Like, or overestimating? I mean, they're overestimating how long people will play. Because, like, I think their expectation is that this is going to be, like, 2 months worth of the 3 months of time for this. I don't know. Seems pretty Omega cringe. This, I'm going to go with, I think Ziach might have said it a few days ago, we might have talked about it off stream. I think this is our, I think they once again did the minimum viable product. I think they have an idea of what the base idea for a season would be, and they didn't go past it at all. They literally were like, what equals a season? No thoughts after that. They made a seasonal theme. Okay, now where are the improvements to the game underneath the theme? Because, like, especially if you're not going to be, especially because they made it very clear they're probably not going to be compounding the season themes going on, that's even more harrowing, or whatever, a word for it.
Like, it was a good word. You should have committed.
Okay, well, anyway, it is that word that they, like, they aren't going to be committing to adding them permanently. I would be okay. I was like, if they would have said, okay, we have plans to build these things permanently, that to me would have been like, okay, in time it will get better. But their opinion is that the game should never move past what it released at, so a player doesn't feel like they're behind, question mark? to me, literally any game that's live service, if I jump into it, like if I jumped into like for instance, I've thought about playing Genshin. If I jumped into Genshin or like BDO or something, I want to feel like I have all this stuff to go through. I want to feel like the game has something to do. I don't want to feel like I'm forever playing the release game. I didn't buy Elden Ring. I didn't buy FF16, although I wish I did because that game's actually good. Like
is 16 the online or no?
No. 16 is the
14.
Giga Chad game. Recommend everybody watch a playthrough of that or play it yourself if you got a PlayStation. Literally game of like the decade, maybe even century. Fucking Giga game. Anyway, yeah, like their whole mentality on that is just, I think it's fucked up. I think it's completely ass backwards. And I think that the PoE devs have a similar design point to that, and I think it's one of the huge reasons why the game's been on a decline.
Yeah, I think it's also. I think PoE 2 is contributing to the PoE thing because they're like, well, fuck, if we add it here, then we also have to add it in PoE 2.
Yeah, and I think Blizzard's doing that same idea but just in the terms of like the expansions.
Yeah.
Because PoE 2 is just basically an expansion. And I'm imagining that like D4's expansion. I'm imagining D4's expansion will be exactly like that. So like, but if that is the intent, if that is the purpose of what they're doing, say that. Like, you already have to have an idea. If you're putting these constraints on yourself as a developer, you already have to have an idea that the expansion is going to be massive. So just say that. Say that we're doing this as a developer because of the right, or maybe a somewhat right reason, other than just, we're doing it because we want you to feel like you're not falling behind. That is the worst way to put it.
I think it's like if they're like, hey, we're having these seasons are like they're like own contained things, and they're to like spruce up the game while like we you do expansions for these like large content overhauls and stuff.
But that's, to me, the way they're wording it, right? This is my epiphany I had a couple weeks ago. It very much so feels like they're balancing and maintaining this game like an MMO.
Like WoW, how WoW is that they have seasons that are little things where they spruce them up. You have a little
I do not think they are planning on
dungeons.
Their only idea at Blizzard of how to do live service is WoW, so they're just running with that, and I do not think it is good. It is not how you should be designing an ARPG.
Yeah.
And that means we're definitely going to have to wait for expansions to fix things, because that's what you have to do in WoW, is wait for expansions.
Yeah. Blizzard definitely wants to milk as many of those returning players with that $60 expansion price tag as possible. They're literally just trying to get you to buy a battle pass during, like... Yeah. They're trying to get you to buy a battle pass with the minimum amount of content they can give you without building on the game until the expansion. And that is so disappointing.
True.
Boiler linked me this. I'm waiting for like an actual patch note.
I saw MP went over it on his stream. He pulled it up.
I mean, I'm on the page. This is all there is. The page doesn't work. Their hyperlink on their D4 website doesn't work.
Murgurgle.
I wish you could add a standard socket on top. Sorkers have to give up one of the few places to add armor. They literally, like, where's my already broken defenses? Let's just fucking take them out.
Also,
I'm sure that's
not that it's relevant to us, because do you have a hardcore character, Egg?
No, but yes, it is also a concern for hardcore, and
no, the concern for hardcore is the renown shit.
Renown,
you can't log into your character, so like,
your
fucking 100 guy.
And you know that they're just going to ignore that. They're just going to pretend that problem doesn't exist.
Yeah, if you're playing hardcore, get fucked.
Okay,
they did their hardcore event. Okay, now wave goodbye to hardcore players.
Yeah, basically all the replies are that people aren't rolling Sork and they're quitting Sork because of the the jewelry The fucking removal of armor is just a giga nerf to Sork. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if there's a defensive gym. You're not going to want to use it because other classes will just run 3 damage ones. So like, it's I don't know. That will. They're not going again. They're just going to ignore it and say, "Well, look, we're looking into it," but the season's already out, so like, we're not gonna fix it. I need more info. I need an actual patch note. I don't know. Right now, I'm giving this stream I'm giving it like a D minus. It's not an F, but like, I think
stuff was okay.
I think their opinion on how to progress the game moving forward is what lowers my grade. I think they're releasing a season. I think it is the bare minimum for a season and nothing more. And I think that's cringe. I wasn't expecting much, and I'm not disappointed. I'm about the feeling that I should have had. That's why I'm giving it a D minus.
Season team is good enough for a season.
Yeah, it's good enough for a season, but like, that's not the only thing that needs to be addressed here. They did the bare minimum required.
It's like not even good. I don't know. Like, it's almost good enough for a season, but like,
I think it's very undercooked in the department of the Malignant Tunnels specifically.
It needs to be. Yeah, the fact that the Malignant Tunnels is just another fucking tunnel is mind blowing.
It's just a cellar.
That there's
it's a
no
cellar
new
with an
assets
actual
there.
reward. Yeah.
It's fucking like, compare it to like Blighted maps, or which is like not even that great, or like the Calgar expedition things, or like the Temple of Axawad, like the temple thing.
Alva's Rule, that's a better one. Alva's Rule, yeah.
Or the Syndicate shit, or like fucking
the Beastier,
the Sanctum thing, the fucking Lake of Kalandra, like, it's just a fucking tunnel with fucking the same fucking tiles as every other fucking tunnel we've ever fucking been in, with the same fucking mobs.
To be honest,